All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour one, Jon and Jim. We have Sydney Lauper tickets, folks. Who wants to talk about the World Series? We have Sydney Lauper tickets to give away. All right, how are you going to cope if the Dodgers do this tonight or at any point over the next 4 games? This is how you can qualify to win these Sydney Lauper tickets today, right? We're giving them away today. This is at Viejas, Wednesday, November 20th. Girls just want to have fun, as we know. Farewell tour. For tickets information, go to Ticketmaster.com.
Right out the gate. Hey,
how are you going to cope?
Sydney Lauper.
Cope with
Sydney Lauper tickets.
Padres fans, how will you cope if the Dodgers win the World Series? You're eligible for those tickets, or eligible. You're eligible for those tickets by opening up the iHeartRadio app, searching for San Diego Sports 760, tapping the microphone icon, and leaving up to a 30-second talkback. We want to hear from Padres fans, whether you want the tickets or not. How do you plan to cope if the Dodgers win the World Series? Open the app, search for San Diego Sports 760, tap the microphone, leave up to a 30-second talkback. We'll play your responses this hour. How will you cope? Someone will win those tickets, but just get it out there. Even if you don't want the tickets, how do you plan to cope? It went from bad to worse last night. It was an awful game. Yeah, the Yankees made it interesting with 2 outs in the 9th inning, but they're down 3 games to none. It's been an awful World Series. If you're rooting for the Dodgers to lose, it's now 3 games to none in LA. They're on the brink. It could happen here tonight. If it doesn't happen tonight, it could happen tomorrow. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, you get the point. How are we going to cope? Like, seriously, I haven't wrapped my mind around it, Jim. What's your theory here? Because this is going to happen. We might be hours away. This could happen in 5 hours, 6 hours.
It could be as easy as last night where the Dodgers
go up 4-0,
2-0 in the first inning, and you're like, this one's
incredible. So what are you going to do? How do you rationalize it?
Well, it's a good question, John. I don't fully know that yet.
Yeah, neither do I.
I yesterday's show, I talked about, they were eventually bound to win at least one during this like Shohei Ohtani era, because you don't go out and spend $1 billion in the offseason,
right,
and not end up at least winning one World Series. I feel like they were just eventually going to buy one off. They bought a World Series. Congratulations. They played really well. Actually, they played really good baseball. I can't discredit that. The Padres had them down 2-1 in the series, and since then they've gone 9-2 in the postseason, outscoring their opponents by 40 runs. Mm-hmm. So they've played really good baseball, but they were bound to win at least one World Series during the Shohei era. Right?
Year one.
I know.
And when you say, and I agree with you, but the way you say it, and I agree with you, when you're like, they were going to win one, I always kind of want to spin it to be like, well, the Padres were always going to win one, right? The Padres are going to get one in the Machado Tatis era, right? When you sign, we could say 2 future Hall of Famers, it's very arguable with Tatis because of the steroid suspension. But when you have someone like Fernando Tatis Jr. for 15 years, when you have someone like Manny Machado for 10 plus years, when you have Juan Soto at one point, when you have someone like Xander Bogaerts, even Jackson Merrill, you kind of make an assumption that at some point you're going to quote unquote stumble into one or put yourself in a position to at least get to a World Series. Yet here we are. It's year one of the Ohtani era. I remember listening, I think Kyle Glaser on this very radio station a couple of weeks ago said, the Dodgers know this isn't their best chance to win a World Series. They know that they have starting pitching injuries. They know they'll be better suited in the rotation in 2025 than they are in 2024. And that's why Dave Roberts could be back even if the Padres beat the Dodgers in the NLDS. And now fast forward 2 weeks, and the Dodgers are on the precipice. I mean, if they don't win it, it'll be one of the biggest collapses ever. So they're going to win the World Series. I hope we're wrong, but they're going to win the World Series. And yeah, unfortunately, it's happened in year one, and there's no reason to think that they can't do it again, unfortunately.
Well,
that's another day.
It's another day.
Right.
The biggest thing, just from an average maybe baseball fan's perspective here, is you got the dream matchup, and it's been an awful World Series besides the moment in game one.
Yeah.
And that's not what baseball wanted. Baseball got his dream matchup, and they got a crappy World Series. It's a very one-sided World Series.
Does the script flip?
Does not. I don't think,
John. Flip?
This one's over. This is done. The Dodgers are going to win their first legit World Series since 1988. They are going to have a parade. They're going to shove it all down our faces. They are going to talk trash for the next year plus. They are going to never let Padres fans and everybody else never hear the end of it. That's what is going to eventually end up happening either tonight, tomorrow, or game 6 or whatever. Like, this thing is over. It is donezo. The Dodgers have won. Done. Yankees, thanks for coming. You laid down and you put out probably one of the worst World Series performances of recent memory. I mean, awful performance by the Yankees in this series.
Well, you said it. I mean, you said you can't lose in walk-off fashion on a grand slam with 2 outs in the 9th inning and come anywhere close to winning that series.
No.
And that has played out to be very, very true. And you're right. I mean, when's the last sweep we had in the World Series?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but
I'm going to tell you.
Even last year, I mean, last year's World Series went, what, 6?
All right, so that went 5. Rangers over D-backs.
Okay.
The last sweep in the World Series was 2012 Giants-Tigers. You'd have to go back 12 World Series for the last sweep. The last sweep prior to that was the Red Sox-Rockies, which we always bring up because the Red Sox or the Rockies had a 10-day layoff going into that World Series. So it has been a while. And for the New York Yankees to get swept out of a World Series, we don't know if that's going to happen or not. But for the New York Yankees to be down 3-0,
it's over, John. Tonight, it's done.
Yeah, like what that crowd's gonna be like tonight in New York. Like, it's full, but it doesn't have the same level of excitement or anticipation. It just doesn't.
Tickets have dropped by like almost 50%.
So like I could get in for what? A couple $100.
Yeah.
It should. There's no way.
It went from 1,500 to I think the average ticket price now you can get in for like maybe a couple hundred.
You keep waiting that off until an hour before the game. You can get in for $100.
Yep.
Would be my guess.
Well,
so
maybe not 100, but
how are you going to cope? Open up the app, search for San Diego Sports 760, tap the microphone, leave a 30-second talk back. We'll play them this hour. You're entered to win Sydney Lauper tickets as well. This is how I'm going to cope. This is how I'm going to cope. I'm going to go back to something that Peter Seidler said. I vividly remember having this conversation about the decade of the 2020s being the Padres decade. And we're going so far back, Jim, that I was doing a broadcast with like Hartman, maybe.
I remember that.
And I think Darren might have been broadcasting live as well from the Q. Is this possible? Was it 2019? Was the Q still standing? When was the last season? It was.
Really?
Because we did a Holiday Bowl that year between maybe Iowa and SC, and San Diego State, I think, used the Q in 2019 before the pandemic. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But I think San Diego State and the Holiday Bowl was held in the Q maybe as recently as 2019. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Well, we were doing a show from outside the Q before an Aztec game, and Darren had Peter Seidler on the show. And Peter Seidler maybe had already been quoted as saying it, or maybe told Darren again, that we believe the 20s will be the decade of the Padres. By the way, to some extent, they backed it up by their historical relevancy. They've never been to the postseason 3 times in 5 years.
Yeah.
They've had some success. They made a championship series this decade. They've won series in 3 different playoffs. But do we hold the line and say, you know what? All reserve judgment. Can the Padres still salvage this decade? Could they still win a World Series over the next 4 or 5 years? Could they get even here? Like, is that still a possibility as you look to the future and you think about Machado back and Jackson Merrill's emergence and Fernando Tatis Jr. being quote unquote healthy, knock on everything, right? Like, is that still possible? Like, hold the line. Peter said the 2020s is going to be the decade of the Padres. Is that still possible if the Dodgers win a World Series here?
No.
Okay. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. No, not possible. If the Padres got one this decade.
If the Padres get one this decade, I don't care about any of the talk of this is the decade of the Padres or whatever. Like, all that matters is just winning one World Series. That's it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. I honestly, I'll go this far and say this: how many years is left in this decade?
Oh
5?
my God,
6, right? 6.
Jim, it's 2024.
Okay, we got 6 years left. We got 5 years left. Because if you get to once you get
the seasons are
30,
25, 26, 27, 28, 29.
Okay, so 5.
5 seasons.
5 seasons left.
After this.
If the Dodgers end up winning 4 World Series in the next 5 years.
The Dodgers?
Yeah. And you, the Padres, win 1, I could care less. because the Padres, the only thing that matters is winning one World Series.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That would actually be 6 titles for the Dodgers in the decade. We can argue the semantics of 2020, and that's fair.
Yeah.
But you're going to look at the decade, and now they're going to have their second, even if one's fake, and it is. But it's whatever. It's not their fault there was a pandemic. Mm-hmm. But one of them is fake. I agree with that. But, like, can you still make this your decade? The answer is yes. You win one ever. If the Padres ever win one, that answers the bell. That shuts everyone up for a period of time.
I don't care about could this be the Padres' decade or not? I that's so far to my mind. I don't care at all. All I care about is the Padres to win one World Series. That's it.
Right.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me about what happens the previous years or the years after following. Like, as long as they just win one, that's all that matters. Now, I have been seeing a lot of this, and we have had heated discussions
on the other side.
Yeah, other side. But, like, you got to make sure that you win one during this core's time here in San Diego, because right now the Dodgers, they have won one in the core that they just have assembled with Ohtani and Mookie and Freeman,
counting right now,
and Yamamoto counting right now. I think the question now goes, how many more could they get? And that's always the scariest thing to talk about with the Dodgers is they needed to get one. They needed to get over that hump. They needed to, get themselves away from the disappointment year after year and choking year after year. And they've done that. Now, does that become like the scarier doomsday situation where do they just rip off 3 of the next 4?
Right. Is this the Yankees of the 90s? And is it, by the way, to your point, they haven't won since, Ronald Reagan was president the last time the Dodgers won a World Series.
Ridiculous.
You're going way back. And now, to your point, are they going to rattle off 4 or 5 like the Yankees did 96, 97, 98, 2000, now that they've gotten this one out of the way? On the other side, what do we take from the way the Padres played the Dodgers this year? Is that a consolation prize or not? Plus, coming up later this hour, do the Padres get credit or blame for almost beating the Dodgers? We'll hear from a sports talk host at KMBR in the Bay Area. If you want those tickets to Sydney Lauper, or if you just want to tell us how you're going to cope, open the app, search for San Diego Sports 760, tap the microphone icon. We'll play back your talkbacks later this hour. It's Jon and Jim.
This is fun.
This is, I mean, fun's a strong word
We have
because
to-
the Dodgers are on the brink of winning the World Series.
No, I'm not
But
that.
trolling. Listen, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, now is the time to do it. Search for Jon and Jim 760. Our text line's open if you want to react to what we're talking about. How are you going to cope? 70470. Start it with the word team, or just open up the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, tap the microphone icon, leave a 30-second talk back. You'll be eligible for a chance to win Sydney Lauper tickets at Viejas Arena on November 20th, or you can just tell us how you're going to cope. Maybe you just want to get off your chest. We'll play them coming up later this hour. All right, so I noticed this playing out last night.
Yeah.
And this is not to any one tweet. Let me be clear, because there were a series of tweets along the lines of this. Along the lines of this. Now that we know the Dodgers have won the World Series, we know the real World Series was the NLDS because the Padres gave them their best punch. And wasn't that pretty cool? That was basically the idea for the social media post, right? Hey, Padres came so close. They gave the Dodgers the best series. I would say this. So what? There's no prize for almost beating a team in the National League Division Series. If there was, there would be prizes for teams that led, I think it was the Houston Texans, led the Kansas City Chiefs 5 years ago in a divisional round game, 21-0. Well, guess what? Mahomes came back and won the game. Lions led the Niners in the NFC Championship by 17 points. Guess what? They lost the game.
Raise the banner.
The Niners, to their credit, played the Chiefs incredibly well in 2 of the 3 World Series. Guess what? Nobody wants to hear about it.
Almost beat the Chiefs.
Almost beat the Chiefs. And that's what they did. They almost beat the Chiefs. They led the Chiefs multiple times in multiple Super Bowls. Do you think they're talking about that in the Bay Area? We know the answer. And Jim's a Niners fan. We know the answer is that's not the case. Now, is there something to take away from it on field or in a clubhouse? Yeah. They played well against the Dodgers this year. That's fair. They did a lot of the time play. But from a fan perspective, like, we really going to celebrate almost beating the Dodgers? And even if they did, there's no guarantee that the way the World Series is playing out against the Yankees plays out the same way if you get there. How can we assume that?
Yeah, I almost feel like I'm taking crazy pills seeing some of these comments. Like, I posted a video today.
Okay.
On Jon and Jim on X. It'll soon be on Instagram.
How about this? Follow us on X right now. We'll follow you back.
And it was from yesterday's show where you were describing how if the Dodgers win the World Series, not if anymore, it's when the Dodgers win the World Series, it's really hard to say this was a special year for the Padres. It was a very good season. Very good.
Yeah, I agree.
The regular season was the best regular season since 1998. Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But it ended in massive disappointment. And it's being compounded by your rival, who you choked to, end up going and winning the World Series. And, you know, I see one of these comments, and it's just one comment, but I'll single this person out. Says, who was the only team to get the Dodgers to elimination game? For this year, I'll take being a number 2 power ranked team in baseball relative to their window for future playoff successes. You guys are even closer to Dave and Jeff than you think. Shout out Dave and Jeff.
What's up, Dave and Jeff?
They didn't make the World Series. They got eliminated in the division round. They choked away a 2-1 lead. They weren't close. I don't want to sit here. I really don't. And I don't want to be that person because it comes off as cringy to me. I don't want to be that person that says, oh man, Padres were this close to beating the Dodgers. That means they would have easily walked their way to the World Series and easily would have won a World Series this year. You know how many things would need to have happened for that to happen? So much.
They beat the Dodgers in 2022. They didn't win the World Series.
I am no way in hell going to sit here and say that if the Padres would have beaten the Dodgers and not choked away that series, that they would have easily won the World Series. No. That's not my coping mechanism. That might be yours. That's not mine.
They could have. And here also this narrative, which is playing out on social media, and there's narratives that play out on social media. By the way, nobody's celebrating coming in second place in like an election, by the way. But like this narrative that's playing out, like, hey, we had an amazing year. We brought the Dodgers to a decisive game. Is a narrative that is not going to be widely held nationally. They're not going to be talking about it in Boston. Hey, the Padres are the second best team in baseball. Like it could have randomly a that commentary could appear in the offseason. Like, hey, the Padres gave the Dodgers a really good series. Now heading into 2025, could the Padres do it again, or have the Dodgers reloaded? And are they far superior now to San Diego? But there's not this narrative. Like, you think in New York tomorrow, the commentary is going to be, you know what, Yankees didn't even give them a fight. This is the Padres World Series to lose. You know, like it should have been the Padres losing this World Series, the Dodgers, not us. No one cares. It's a results-based thing, and we're such realists with this, and it's not to be critical. The Padres did have a really good year. I hope they replicate it and then put themselves in a position where they do get over the hump in 2025, and we can stop this conversation. But how many times have you heard me say this? All that matters at the end of the day, you're going to have to win a World Series at some point. It's been 50-plus years. I'd rather take one now and not worry about the next 10 years. I don't care what the next 10 years look like. I really don't. I mean, I will. But in this exact moment, what I care about is winning a World Series. It's what Padres fans deserve. They haven't gotten it, and we're rationalizing it in ways that aren't right to Padres fans. You deserve a winner at the highest level. Hopefully it comes.
Yeah, don't stoop to the level of, man, we definitely would have won a World Series if we got past the Dodgers. How do you know that? You don't. I don't want to sit here and use that as my coping, like, you know, how we're going to cope with this, right? I think that is the like most cringy way to cope, is to think that if the Padres got past the Dodgers and didn't choke away a 2-1 lead, that they would have easily won the World Series, and that they're de facto the second best team in baseball just because the Dodgers are, you know, beating the crap out of the Yankees.
The second best team. You think in Philadelphia they celebrate Mitch Williams giving up the home run to Joe Carter with a lead, and
nobody cares about number 2.
I mean, the Bills had some great years too.
You think they're sitting there being like, "Hey, raise the banner, wide right, raise the banner."
So it's just, and I get it. I mean, you want to celebrate what was good, and you should. There was a lot of good in there, and it was real. The walk-offs, the moments, the wins, a series win in the postseason. It was a good year. I mean, they were 82-80 last year. We had no idea if they were going to get to the postseason. AJ Preller did a very good job. Mike Schilt did a very good job. They probably will need to be better next year.
They'll probably
need to be better next year.
Yeah, because in order to make the World Series, they are going to have to be better. If they win 88 games to make the postseason and they don't make a run, it's not going to be viewed as like, oh man, glad they just made the postseason again. You know, the standard has been raised here to like, okay, the Dodgers are now potentially going to go on a run. You got to make sure that you can get one World Series in here with the core that you have still, with the time that they're, you know,
you're right,
in their primes. That's going to be difficult to do, but by no way am I going to sit here and use this argument that because the Padres had the Dodgers on the brink of elimination, using that alone as my basis of my whole entire thought process, they had them on the brink of elimination, and using that to then all of a sudden come to a conclusion, well, you know, Padres would have easily won the World Series if they didn't choke.
Right. Huh? No, I mean, we don't know. They could have, or they could not have. We'll never know. At Jon and Jim on X, we will follow you back if you give us a follow right now. JONANDJIM. Shout out Kyle Sandsmark. We just followed you at Jon and Jim. JONANDJIM. Follow us. We'll follow you back and give you a shout out on air. To that point, the narrative playing out nationally isn't the one that's playing out locally. You'll hear it on the other side from KNBR. Plus, Will Brinson, our NFL insider, will join us at 4 p.m. We'll play your talkbacks this hour. How will you cope, assuming the Dodgers win the World Series? It's Jon and Jim. All right, guys, it is Jon and Jim. We've been telling you about our friends over at Hamul Casino. You got to get there this football season, including this weekend. Great place to be. Every single Monday night as well, a chance to win big. They've got great promotions all football season long going on at Humul Casino.
Yeah, with 10 winners every hour on Mondays at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m. Your odds are better than ever. Plus, their Onyx players will receive an extra $100 in cash bonuses on top of their winnings. Plus, you can earn entries all month long by playing and getting two-time entries on Tuesdays with at least $500 in cash for all winners, a chance to win up to $25,000 in cash.
You got to check out Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. You got to check it out. Great food and drinks, all the televisions you could possibly imagine, great Tony Gwynn sports memorabilia as well. So they've got great food, including Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. They also have endless dining 5 nights a week. We've told you about it. Get there this weekend. Saturday, they've got a surf and turf buffet. They've gone over the top with succulent steaks, delectable seafood, and more.
Yeah, Humul Casino is the place to be. Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, it's a great atmosphere, great food, great place to watch a sporting event. Humul Casino, it's fun above all else. All right, this update is brought to you by the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar. Dodgers on the verge of winning their first legit World Series since 1988 tonight as they have a chance to sweep the Yankees. Game 4, 5:08 first pitch. Dodgers are going with a bullpen game. Luis Gil will be on the mound for the Yankees. NFL news of the day. Colts, they have benched first-round QB Anthony Richardson for elite QB Joe Flacco. And Stephon Diggs tore his ACL this past weekend for the Houston Texans. He will miss the remainder of the season. The Breeders' Cup is moving to Del Mar this Friday and Saturday. Be ready to go. Remember, all tickets and parking passes must be bought in advance. And due to heavy traffic, if you're not attending, please avoid the area. Visit breederscup.com/plan your visit to learn more.
We still have tickets for San Marcos tomorrow, Brett. San Diego State San Marcos will give those away coming up in the 4 o'clock hour and the 5 o'clock hour. We have Snow Jam tickets. We have Sidney Lauper tickets. You're eligible to win those Sidney Lauper tickets by opening up the iHeartRadio app, searching for San Diego Sports 760, clicking the microphone icon, and leaving a 30-second talk back. Dodgers fans, how will you cope if the Dodgers expect to win a World Series here tonight or at any point over the next handful of days? Your mic's not on. Let's just keep it off. Let's keep it both off.
All right, ready, set, go.
We can't do that.
Once the Padres had the Dodgers down 2-1, I mean, this is kind of an unprecedented, out of character type of run the Dodgers have gone on. in the Dave Roberts era, all they've done is choke. All they've done is,
there's been a lot of
blow chances, disappointments.
How many Dodgers fans in our chat right now are listening wanted Dave Roberts out at some point?
All of them. All of them.
Every single one.
They were ready to fire Dave Roberts after Game 3 against the Padres.
No doubt.
It was like, what are we doing here?
Yep.
You just picked a fight, saying that your life was in danger because Manny had a sinister sling across the diamond, and then you lose Game 3 and you're down 2-1. It was like, is Dave Roberts going to make it out of San Diego like as the Dodgers manager?
He did,
but going into Game 4, that was the question.
Agree. There was a lot of discussion,
and credit to LA. They haven't been given anything here. They haven't been given any. I mean, they have just beaten down their opponents after they came back and beat the Padres in that series.
I mean, Yamamoto, Flaherty, and Buehler
look incredible.
I mean, there have been times this year where A, Yamamoto wasn't healthy and B, was very average.
I'm like, where was this Walker Buehler?
Flaherty at times this postseason hasn't been great, but has had now moments. And then Walker Buehler's been elite. And he had a 5.5 ERA in the regular season. So, no, this isn't one of those situations where like, oh, well, they haven't earned it or they don't deserve it. Yeah, they have. They've outplayed people, including the Padres. It's not like the Padres led 6-3 in the ninth inning of Game 5, and there was some error through the wickets of Luis Ariz at first, and everything changed forever. That didn't happen. They definitively outplayed the Padres for 2+ games to advance.
Definitively outplayed the Mets for 6.
And they've just dominated the Yankees.
The Yankees haven't even shown up. I mean, besides Juan Soto a little bit.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge, you think we give crap to Manny for his postseason performances here? Aaron Judge in New York is getting crucified for what he has done in this postseason and this World Series. I mean, it is
even if they finish
awful
top 2 in power rankings.
Well, that's the point. That's a good. You know
what I mean? They could still finish top 2 because they won the American
If you finish
League.
the top 2 in power rankings and you're number 2, then everything's okay,
everything's
right?
fine.
Everything's fine.
I want to hear from Rod Brooks, who is a Niners maybe pre and post game host. He works on KMBR, and he kind of
KMBR is up in the Bay Area
radio.
So
Sports Talk Radio.
It's Giants talk, yeah.
Okay. So I thought he had a nice way of putting this about like the situation that the Padres were in, because down here people are saying, man, the Padres played the Dodgers as well as anyone else. That should be celebrated. Rod Brooks spins that conversation. Take a listen.
The team that is to blame is the San Diego Padres. You had one job. You were up. Y'all were feeling good, snatching home runs, messing with the crowd, Tatis strutting around. All that was great. All that was gravy. And we up here in Northern California like, okay, Padres, we banging with you. Let's come together and let's get rid of the evil empire. Giants couldn't do it. Got their own sort of set of issues that I'm sure we'll get into. But Padres, we're rooting for you. You were up in the series and you swallowed the olive. San Diego, the San Diego Padres Baseball Club. Where's my camera? Look at it. The San Diego Padres Baseball Club. You are responsible for the Dodgers winning a legitimate World Series for the first time since Ronald Reagan was alive and president. You, San Diego, are the reason that America is sad.
That's it. I can't drop the freaking mic there. Hey, Young Tone, you got to get. I don't have my soundboard here. You got to give some applause on that there. Yeah, thank you very much.
Look,
I mean, he's not wrong.
He ain't wrong, unfortunately.
I mean, it sucks because you like to think the team that plays the best against the team that wins is actually a good team, and they are. That's what we keep saying. They're a good team. We've said no one is calling the Padres a bad team.
No,
like they're not, and that's a dumb, irrational, stupid take.
Yeah,
they're a very good team.
So
but I get the point, which is like you had them on the ropes. The team that had them on the ropes had to finish them, and they didn't.
No, they didn't. They choked it away.
Yeah, whoever that team was going to be, like we would have celebrated the Mets for finishing them off.
Yeah,
if they had them on the ropes.
Yeah.
And you know what you would have said if the Mets didn't finish them off? Stupid Mets.
Yep. And now what are we saying for this?
Like,
stupid Yankees.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate being a Yankees fan.
Right, exactly. For the last 3 days or whatever
the last
it is.
5 days, it's been awful.
You're right.
Yeah, Rod's not wrong. It's kind of hard to hear it, but it's right. It's what we've been saying here too. Not to that extent, but all we've been talking about the last 3 weeks, and it's been hard to cope. It's been hard to rationalize it and truly get it that the Padres choked, and that's why this makes it feel so much worse. It wasn't like they lost in 3 straight. If they lost in 3 straight, there's like nothing you could say. Now, do I think the Dodgers are a better team than the Padres? I do. Do I think that the final 2 games of that series, the Dodgers completely outclassed the Padres? I do. But everything that the Padres had in front of them, being up 2-1 at home with Dylan Cease on the mound against a bullpen day for the Dodgers, and you lose that series, and then now the Dodgers have gone on to kind of dominate the CS and dominate the World Series, and they're about to win the World Series. It's really hard not to go, all right, where did this whole thing go wrong? Oh, there. Game 4 at Petco Park, Dodgers down 2-1. You had them. You were raring to go. Everything was lined up for you perfectly, and you blew it.
And that's where I'm willing to place some blame. And of course, the players get blamed. Of course, Dylan Cease gets blamed for not executing. But I am willing to cast blame towards the front office, even towards the manager's chair, because they chose to pitch Dylan Cease on 3 days rest, which was always a questionable decision. Always, even going in, and even more so considering the way he pitched in the second half of the year, and even more so when you saw that the Dodgers elected to use their elite bullpen, and you didn't choose to use your elite bullpen in the exact same spot.
I'll say this. In hindsight,
I know in real time.
No, I know in real time it was questioned.
Oh, it was very questionable.
But I can't say that because I actually liked the move.
I didn't.
I liked the move. I know that who did we have on from MLB Network Radio?
Mike Farron hated it.
He hated the move.
Yeah.
But I even said it the next day. I was like, in hindsight, it's easy to say I hated the move, but at the time I liked it because I rather have gone, if I'm going to go down, if the Padres are going to go down, I'd rather have it be with Dylan Cease on the mound than Martin Perez or a bullpen day.
Yeah, but bullpen day is where I think it went too far. And by the way, Dylan Cease had pitched terribly in the second half of the year, or poorly. Since the no-hitter, he pitched terribly in game 1 of the DS. Terribly. They gave him an inning in game 4 at the end of the day. So, no, like that's not a hindsight thing. For people that know how hard it is, we even gave the numbers. Guys pitched on 3 days rest have terrible outcomes. Yeah. We read it going into the game.
Bad.
They win 30% of the time in the postseason.
But you know what, John? They didn't lose 4-3. They lost 8-0.
True, but the Dodgers bullpen, the way it pitched in game 4, could have been the Padres bullpen. Agree or disagree?
Well, they didn't score any runs.
Yeah, I know, but
the offense was non-existent. They didn't show up.
But they also had an elite bullpen. They didn't allow to profile in either of the last 2 games.
Yeah, even if they went out there and the bullpen pitched great, they went 9 innings for 9 different pitchers, gave up 2 runs, they would still would have lost 2-0.
Maybe. We don't know. You never know. We'll never know what would have happened if it was a 1-run game. The whole
for me, it's hard to really defend anything there because the offense went MIA. They went 24 scoreless innings. I can't defend anything there. I can't.
No, not defend, but it's easy to be critical of throwing Dylan Cease on 3 days, right?
Yeah, but they didn't score any runs. They scored this many runs, John.
How many?
It's less than 1.
Okay. All right, Will Brinson will join us coming up at 4 p.m., our NFL Insider, courtesy of Hamul. We want to hear from you on the Talkback Mike. How will you cope? We're having a hard time if you can't tell. How will you cope, Padres fans? Open the app, search for San Diego Sports 760, tap the microphone icon, leave a 30-second talkback, and we will give out tickets to a Cyndi Lauper Cyndi Lauper concert for someone on the Talkback Mike. That's next. Yay. All right, Jon and Jim back with you. Game 4 of the World Series gets underway in an hour and 20 minutes. Will Brinson will join us, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports, will join us at 4 p.m. We do want to remind you, all this week with a 4-pack of tickets to Snow Jim. At the Del Mar Fairgrounds, November 8th through the 10th, discover an extensive collection of alpine skis, snowboards, boots, bindings, gloves, goggles, and everything else you need for a fantastic winter season with competitive prices at rival online deals. Mark your calendars for November 8th and get ready for an amazing winter experience at Snow Jam San Diego. Will the Yankees join the Padres
in Cancun?
Right, in Cancun, or on their winter vacation, or will they stave off elimination for another 24 hours?
Well, here's the thing: regardless of how this series ends, both teams were headed to Cancun after.
Is the winner really in Cancun? They have the vacation of their choice.
Well, Cancun's a nice place. What's wrong with Cancun?
Okay.
It's Cancun. I feel like
you
is
been?
now.
Yankees probably go to the Bahamas
been
or
to
something.
Cancun.
though.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I feel like
There's better places in
Cancun has
America.
now been dubbed the Loserville.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's like vacation. Like, hey, let's go party.
When a team loses, it's like head to Cancun,
Yeah.
losers.
Exactly. It
Like
is.
Cancun's nice, dude.
No, it's nice.
What's wrong with
It is.
Cancun?
What's wrong with it is other teams are still playing, and you're partying at foam parties. You know.
Yeah, but I'm saying when the World Series ends, both these teams will be heading to Cancun. Vacation.
Yeah. Unfortunately, one of them is going to be going to Disneyland.
Cancun's better than Disneyland.
Okay.
Is it not?
Put that. Okay, that could be our theme. For when-
70470.
That's
Yeah.
how we cope. Yeah, Dodgers won the World Series, but they have to celebrate in LA.
I'm not.
I don't know if that's going to work.
How are you going to cope? How are you?
I'm coping with it's the decade of the Padres. Just
that's
the
not,
second
that's not
half.
coping.
Second half of the decade is the Padres decade. I'm not going to cope well because I think 2025 is harder than 2024.
I agree with that.
So there's that.
I agree with that. I think the stuff that we see on social media, in our YouTube chats,
I have no problem with any of that.
On Twitter, on Instagram, it's going to be a lot of that for the foreseeable future.
Bring it on. I'm fine with that.
I think my advice to Padres fans out there is don't engage with Dodger trolls. And if you do, you just got to have thick skin, because they're going to do their best to get under the skin of every other team's fan base that they view as a threat. As far as Giants fans, Padres fans, it's game on for them once they win this World Series. And by game on, I mean, they're going to troll like they've never trolled ever before. And honestly, it sucks to say this. It really does. I hate it. I don't blame them. I don't. You know why? Because if the
They've been waiting
Padres
36 years.
Yeah. And if the roles were reversed here and the Padres came back from down 2-1 in a division series, beat the Dodgers, and went on to win the World Series, you bet your ass that no one would hear the end of it from us.
True. The problem I have is that I think there were some Padres fans celebrating a little too early. I think there were some Padres fans celebrating a little too early. They go up 2-1.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think if you look yourself in the mirror, and this isn't everyone, because a lot of people feel like, hey,
I was
50-something years of misery. It's not like we're guaranteed now up 2-1 to win this series and win the World Series. But there were some people celebrating too early. Because
everybody does, though. Like
I'm not. I don't know about that. I honestly don't.
Yeah, the vibe at Petco was ready for a celebration.
Which is fine. Of course, the vibe in the building, everyone should be ready to celebrate. No, the idea that they had already punched their ticket, not to win the World Series, but they were going to beat the Dodgers. They won Game 3. They were at home. I never once went down that path of like, this thing is over.
I was rightfully scared of, if they don't win Game 4, Game 5 is going to be really hard. But also I had a feeling of like, this feels like it does, especially with everything that happened from that Sunday to Tuesday night, with the whole Dave Roberts crying, using that as a shield for his team.
Tatis wagging his tongue and
then
Profar barking with
Ken
the crowd.
Rosenthal's sinister sling article going after Manny Machado and Jurickson Profar and Tatis. like I did feel, and we've talked about it. The triple play, the no hitters, the comebacks, the 93 wins. It was like something's different here, and then it all boom crashing halt.
No, it's one thing to feel a certain way and be like, hey, I hope or I think this is going to happen. But when you go further than that and say Padres are going to win the series, and there was some of that out there. Padres are going to win this series. This series is over. And again, against a team as good as LA, that's hard to do. Now, if I was a Dodger fan right now, would I feel as if the series is over? Yeah, I would. Up 3-0 with this team, but that's a little different. 3-0 with their roster, as opposed to 2-1 in a best-of-5 series.
Yeah,
like I think that's different.
But what I'm saying is, from the trolling that we see, and Dodger fans invading every single San Diego chat imaginable, which it happens. Like anytime there is a Padres YouTube page or radio show or Instagram post, it is always invaded by Dodger fans. Now it's one of those things where, you get it. You get it. They were doing this before and they didn't win anything. And all they've done is choked. But now that they've won one, you're like, I can't really say anything back to that, because they went out and earned it. They went out and played really good baseball. The Padres choked, so that makes it even worse. And they're on the verge of potentially sweeping the freaking New York Yankees in the World Series to win. That is a massive tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
It's not ideal. Can we hear from the talkback line? And whomever we're going to hear from is going to see Cyndi Lauper at Viejas Arena. Oh, we have a couple. Okay, we can hear from a couple. Okay, so someone is going to win Cyndi Lauper tickets. Brent will make that decision. But we can play a couple. How are you going to cope, Padres fans, assuming the Dodgers win the World Series? What else? All right, Brent, you pick a winner. Since this is the big thing, the talkback contest. We're going to be doing a lot of this. We're doing a lot of talkback contests moving on. And someone today, and Brent's going to pick the winner, has won 2 free tickets to see Cyndi Lauper Wednesday, November 20th, Viejas Arena. Girls just want to have fun. Farewell tour, Jim. For tickets and info, go to Ticketmaster.com. Will Brinson will join us coming up next. We'll take our minds off the Dodgers winning the World Series and talk about Week 8 in the NFL. Will Brinson, our NFL insider, joins us next.
All right, this update is brought to you by the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar. We'll start with the World Series. It's been a dud as the Yankees are trailing the Dodgers in the series 3-0. Dodgers are looking for the sweep tonight to win their first legit World Series since 1988. Game 4, 5:08 first pitch at Yankee Stadium. NFL news of the day. Anthony Richardson has been benched for Joe Flacco in Indianapolis. And Stephon Diggs tore his ACL this past weekend. He's going to miss the remainder of the year. The Breeders' Cup is coming to Del Mar this Friday and Saturday. Be ready to go. Remember, all tickets and parking passes must be bought in advance. And due to heavy traffic, if you're not attending, please avoid the area. Visit breederscup.com/plan your visit to learn more.
All right, hour 2, Jon and Jim. Let's take our mind off the World Series for a moment, please. Will Brinson,
Yes.
senior NFL writer, CBS Sports, back with us. He's with us each and every Tuesday at 4 p.m. as we talk about the National Football League. Okay, this is where I want to start, Will, because we talk way too much baseball, and we've lost our minds with what's going on with the Dodgers. So answer this for me. How is it? Is it Tyreek Stevenson? What's the guy's name?
I think so, yeah. On the Bears.
The Bears.
Yeah. How do you keep?
The Bears,
how do you keep your job? And I get it. Hey, he goes to social media. Hey, I'll do better. It won't happen again. What do you mean it won't happen again? It can never happen ever, 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 ever. You're never going to be in that exact same spot again. And like, how is that rationalized by the Bears organization?
Well, the worst part is, well, there's several bad parts about it. One, you lost the game on a historic Hail Mary that, when Jaden Daniels is enshrined in Canton in 20 years, like it's going to be replayed over and over again. And then 2, like Matt Eberflus is a defensive head coach, and I think he's a really good defensive mind. Head coach, I think, it's all up for grabs in terms of how guys adjust to that. And I think that's still up in the air, but the Bears were winning games except for that one. And then 3, it's like, if you just kept taunting the fans and hadn't sprinted back to the play, you wouldn't have tipped the ball up in the air and Noah Brown wouldn't have caught it and your team would have won the game and you'd be going viral for completely different reasons. It's really bad. Look, my son asked me the other day, he said, "Dad, have you ever played an NFL game?" I was like, "Buddy, you see how tall I am? What do you think, pal?" But I mean, like I wouldn't do that if I was in an NFL game. Like, just follow Noah Brown around and make sure you're either behind him, because you don't want a guy to get, like, you can't have a guy behind you in the event that the throw goes over. So you got to be behind him and use jump forward. And by the way, once the ball is tipped, if you're actually guarding Noah Brown, you can just tackle him and you're not getting a flag for PI. So, all around tough scene for Tyreek Stevenson. And if you're, if the Bears just tumble into, disaster from here on out, people point to that. I think they're good enough to stick around, but I mean, you're probably going to lose that game until an incredible, a series of events happens, and you really should have lost it when you fumbled on the one with the fullback. But I mean, that game was terrible until the final 3 drives, which sums up a lot of NFL games.
Yeah, it's just like, it's the easiest defense to go out and play. It's like, just follow your guy around. There's no like scheme, there's no nothing. It's just like, follow your man and just make sure the ball hits the ground when the ball's thrown in the air. It was just a crazy ending there. Will, when you're looking at the Browns situation, they're not going anywhere this year, but if they had Jameis to start the season, don't you think they might have been better off than if they had Deshaun Watson start? I mean, Jameis Winston goes out there, throws for 3 touchdowns. It's like a revelation. Like, why was he not playing?
Okay, I'll get to they're not going anywhere thing in a second because I don't think they're totally dead.
Okay.
If you look at the standings. No, I'm serious. Like, I mean, okay, all right. First, the whole should they have played Jameis to start with? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Should they? I mean, and I wrote about this for CBSSports.com on Sunday. The entire Jameis Winston performance against the Ravens. I mean, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions in his first start for the Browns. He and Joe Flacco are 6 of 7 in starts for the Browns going over 300 yards. Deshaun Watson is 0 for 19. Jameis Winston and the Browns on Sunday scored 20 points for the first time. The Browns scored 20 points plus points for the first time all season. That is such a low bar. And they had a 200-yard passer, also an insanely low bar. Like, I mean, Daniel Jones's pass yard prop was like 185.5 last night. 200 yards is so low. And Deshaun couldn't clear it. And you have essentially Kevin Stefanski, who's a really good coach, is getting the most out of Joe Flacco, the most out of Jameis Winston. Imagine where this team would be if they said, you know what, we're going to listen to our front office instead of listening to ownership. We are going to acquire a veteran backup of Jameis, a Joe Flacco, which they did anyway. We're not going to trade 3. We're going to have 3 extra first-round picks that basically reinvigorated the Texans franchise, and we are going to build and then like try to find somebody in the draft while you've got this guy who's a bridge quarterback. I do think, and we saw with Joe Flacco last year, and I know it was Flacco playing great and sort of like different vibes in Cleveland, kind of YOLO, but it's sort of the same thing. They're two-ish games out of the playoffs right now. Deshaun is done for the season. You have to think in that locker room, the Browns, Kevin Stefanski constantly saying, Deshaun is our guy. Deshaun is our guy, harping for Watson. And like everyone knowing he's not the guy, you have to think that war on them. I think that this team, the defense played much better. I think this team comes out and like kind of goes on a little bit of a run here with Winston. But yeah, I mean, it is criminal. And we see it a lot in the NFL. Jerry Jones with the roster in the Cowboys right now, David Tepper with how he's, can't stay out of affairs with the Panthers, and with the Browns, ownership getting its hands involved in day-to-day football business and forcing things to happen usually does not end well. And now Cleveland, despite itself, like they could have 3 extra first-round picks. Even if just one of those guys hits and is a really good player, your team is noticeably better. It's crazy. Watson should have been the guy from Jump Street, of course. Winston should have been the guy from Jump Street.
And if nothing else, like Jameis Winston, to me, I don't know if you agree, he's got to be the most entertaining quarterback in the league. Like every single one of Jameis Winston's games are always must watch because something crazy always happens.
Yeah, and you get the quotes. Like when he's
the
like,
best.
He's like quoting Eminem after the game.
Right.
He also was asked. It was like, can this team? It's like, what is the sky the limit for this team? He's like, how can the sky be the limit when you're already on the moon? What a line.
So good.
There were some amazing things on social media, like Jameis Winston is trying out for a film that doesn't exist with everything that he says. It's just some really good stuff. All right, so the other side, like again, there's some crazy disappointing stories in the NFL. I don't know what the expectations were for the Jets because they're never high. They're the New York Jets, and Aaron Rodgers coming off missing all of last year, and he's not a kid anymore. But we said a week ago, obviously, you have to beat the Patriots, and they didn't beat the Patriots. So now what do they have to do? Just get to the offseason or come up with a plan post Aaron Rodgers, or where do they go from here?
I think the important thing is that you guys take the segments I've appeared on the last 2 weeks and delete them. At least the Jets. Dude, they again, you go back to the ownership stuff.
Yeah.
Woody Johnson. You really had to come in and fire. So they fired Robert Saleh. Jeff Ulbrich goes to the sidelines, and he's still calling defensive plays. I was on with Bill Barnwell today doing this podcast, and he threw out the stats. So I want to credit him. The Browns are dead. I believe he said dead last in the NFL in defensive EPA. The Jets dead last in defensive EPA the last 3 weeks. Basically, since they fired Robert Saleh, and Jeff Ulbrich has been forced to go from calling plays up in the coach's box to calling plays on the sidelines while also being a head coach of an NFL team in turmoil. They've gone to complete. It's disaster, and that was a can't lose game to the Jets against the Patriots. And it's too early, I guess, for must win. Maybe they could go on a run. I don't really see how. They don't use motion on offense, or pre-snap motion. They don't do anything other than what Aaron Rodgers wants to do, which is essentially line up, try to identify coverages, and to force a ball into tight windows, which he's done. He's been incredible at for his entire career, but he's not as good at now. Even with two elite wide receivers, the run defense is porous and the offensive line is bad. So, like, I just think when you have teams like Denver and lost the Chargers with Harbaugh overperforming because of coaching, the Jets are just staring down the barrel of giving up everything to try and win with Rodgers and signing all his BFFs. He gets hurt immediately, and then this year he's just not very good. And unless he can just rip off a heater, which he's done before, it's always. I mean, I'm saying Jameis Winston might make the playoffs, so I guess
Right.
Rodgers can. It just feels like I would not want to be a Jets fan right now. It feels very bad if you're a Jets fan.
I don't think you'd want to be a Cowboys fan either.
Oh man,
it just. I mean, you got Trayvon Diggs fighting with reporters like immediately after the game for not even that bad.
How do you even find that tweet that fast?
I don't know.
It was very quick.
That was a very quick rebuttal, like a very quick response. Like you're in the locker room for 2 seconds and you immediately find the tweet.
Like social media, dude.
What's going on? It's ridiculous.
If I hang up with you guys at the end of this segment, and it would take me 20 minutes to find out the most recent tweet about Will Brinson sounds like an idiot. He said the Jets would make the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, Trayvon Diggs is coming out of the locker room. He's like, you think you can do what I do? You can't do what I do. And the guy's like, no, dude, I know. Like I'm again, look at me. Look how tall I am.
Right.
But I mean, you have that. You have Jerry Jones with the reporters. And to me, the biggest thing is I've harped on this for a few weeks, I think, is you look at in the first year Mike McCarthy was head coach of the Cowboys, they went 6-10, I believe. They were 28th in points allowed. They fired Mike Nolan, their defensive coordinator. They bring in Dan Quinn, and they were top 10 in the league in defensive points allowed until this year, at which point they are bottom 5 in the league. At the same time, the Commanders with Ron Rivera, like a well-respected. I mean, Ron was an old San Diego DC. He's a well-respected defensive coach. The Commanders were 32nd in points allowed last year. They're 10th this year. Like Dan, to me, when you connect those dots, if you're Jerry Jones, and I think you kind of have to, it's really hard not to think, oh my God, did I I kept the wrong guy and let yet another guy out of the building when I shouldn't have. Dak's, I could see Dak and CD. They've got a kind of favorable schedule for passing attack over the next 5 weeks or so. I could see them maybe stringing together some stuff where you say, all right, this offense is decent. The defense is a problem, but the defense isn't getting better. The Commanders are good. The Giants are going to hang around at least in games, and the Eagles came out of their bye and have won against not great competition, but have won games very convincingly, and at Cincinnati, no easy shake. So the Cowboys, look, Jerry loves the drama. We're getting it, and it's going to be more of it this offseason because it's hard to find a path where Dallas wins a ton of games, makes the playoffs, and Mike McCarthy doesn't get fired, even if they basically have to go to the NFC title game and not get blown out for him to stick around.
Well, NFC title game for the Cowboys, they fall out of bed in the NFC
96 was the last time.
Yeah, exactly.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Will, always appreciate it. Let's do it again next week, and we'll talk about the Yankees' big 7-game World Series win next week.
All right,
Thanks, Will.
Have a good week.
Will
Thanks,
Brinson,
Will.
senior NFL writer, CBS Sports. We would lead with that if that happens. We would lead with that. What do you got?
Oh, I was just saying, brought to you by Humboldt Casino.
Yes, it is brought to you by Humboldt Casino. Will is. He's brought to you by Humboldt Casino. 7 restaurants, thrilling games, and a sports pub voted San Diego's best. Humboldt Casino is fun above all else. We'll get to the wrap coming up next on Jon and Jim. right. Do we all know what a week from today is? No. Do we all know what a week from today is, Brad? Let's look at a week from today.
Yeah.
We're going to debut the college football playoff rankings. Oh.
No, that's not what I.
You weren't thinking next Tuesday is the big day for the college football playoff rankings?
Big day.
Tuesday. First Tuesday in November, the college football playoff rankings for the 12-team playoff.
Tuesday.
The nation will be watching the debut rankings for the college football playoff. Jim doesn't even get it. That's the amazing thing.
What do you mean I don't get it?
You don't get it.
What don't I get?
Exactly.
No.
What do you get? Say it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
College. It's the first year of the college football playoff.
Thank you.
Yeah, I get it.
You don't get it, you idiot.
No, I get it.
You don't. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. It's the very first college football playoff polls that have come out. What don't I get?
The nation will be
I'm
watching.
just gonna let him drown.
The nation will be watching
Next Tuesday.
No, tell me. What don't I get? What don't I get? The nation will be watching. Hold on.
Are you serious?
What don't I get?
Oh my God.
Is that a joke? Can you explain this to me?
It turned into one.
Yes. I'll explain it to you.
No, tell me. I feel like an idiot right now. What don't I get?
It's also the American election.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm done.
I don't know my days.
I'm leaving.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. I'm leaving.
Oh, the joke. Okay, I get
the
it.
joke is the nation's watching.
I get it. No one will be watching. I get it.
I'll be watching.
Oh, for once,
I
one went
will-
over Jim's head.
I'll
be
I'll be watching. Yeah.
Oh Lord. Let's get to the. Have we even put in rap questions? Kind of.
Good
Let's get
question.
to it. Let's get
Hold
to
on,
it.
hold
It's time for the wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Could the 2020 still be the decade of the Padres?
If they win the next 3 World Series,
Do they need to win 1 or 3?
they need to win a lot, multiple. John,
Multiple?
the Dodgers have won, I guess,
1.01 or something.
They've
Yeah.
won 1.5.
Right.
They have a ring to show for it for 2020. So
It's plastic.
they have, I guess, 2 quotation marks for the last 5 seasons. No team has more than
So Padres need 3?
Padres need a couple.
Is it that hard to rattle off 3 of the next 5?
Well, considering they haven't made a World Series since 1998, might be difficult.
It's going to be very difficult for it to be the decade of the Padres. I don't care if it's the decade of the Padres if they win a World Series. I just don't care. If they win the 2025 World Series, is your first line going to be, yeah, but is it the decade of the Padres? No, you're going to say they won the World Series. So if they win one of the next 5 World Series, I'll sign up for that right now. 25, 26, 27, 28, or 29.
else does.
Yes. Well said. Next question.
Will Boise State's Ashton Genty win the Heisman?
Well, it's going to be between him and Travis Hunter, right? Name me name me another player that you put in that mix.
Okay, well, Heisman odds. Okay. Okay, Dylan Gabriel, starting quarterback at Oregon.
Okay.
Their number 1 team in the country. He's now favored.
I haven't heard one thing about Dylan Gabriel all year long.
You also, okay.
I also don't consume college football like you do.
Travis, okay, by the way, the odds right now at On 3 are Dylan Gabriel's the favorite. Travis Hunter's second most
Give me his numbers.
likely. Dylan Gabriel's numbers?
Yeah.
They're good.
Right now.
They're good numbers. I don't have them. Let's just assume they're good.
Okay.
How about this? Leads the nation in completion percentage, 76.2%. Leads the Big Ten in passing yards, 2,400 yards. Leads the Big Ten in touchdowns, 18. Number 1 team in the country.
Blah.
Okay.
It's between Genty
Travis
and
Hunter
Travis
has
Hunter.
5 catches.
Travis Hunter this past week was named the offensive and defensive player of the week in the Big 12.
That's actually incorrect, but he's the first ever Big 12 player to win Offensive Player of the Week and Defensive Player of the Week in the same season. Boom. Cam Ward, Miami, is plus 300.
Whoa.
And then Ashton Genty, that was the 4th best odds. It's going to be hard for someone outside of the quote-unquote power leagues to win it. Let's be honest. You're going to have to rush for 3,000 yards or something like that. And he ran for 128 at UNLV. Great win. They won on the road at UNLV. That matters. But you got to go for 250 a game. And when you're not, you're going to get surpassed. What are you looking at and laughing at?
No, I just like how I said
just like,
Travis Hunter. And you're like,
you?
wrong. Idiot. Move on.
It was a good try. I like
like
how you tried, but it was
So
wrong.
what did I get wrong there?
You said he won Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week in the same week. He didn't. He's won Offensive Player of the Week and Defensive Player of the Week this year,
Same season.
which no one's ever done.
Got it. My bad. I was wrong.
Anyway, Ashton Jetty,
Sorry.
amazing year. I don't know if he's the front runner right now. Amazing year. Amazing.
What if he gets 2,500 rush yards and like 31 touchdowns?
He could win it. He could. He's gonna have to go.
And they make the
above
college
and
football
beyond.
playoff.
He could. Absolutely could. Absolutely could. Next
right.
question.
Now, this might be the toughest question we've ever had on the wrap.
God.
Is this a must-win game tonight for the Yankees?
It's a must-win game.
I was talking during the break with Sammy, and we were talking about like strategy for tonight's game. If you're the Yankees, I get it. The only thing that matters is getting the win. Who cares about how you get it? Just get the win.
Right.
But
you got a strategy.
I have a strategy. Best case scenario for the Yankees tonight to potentially stretch this baby out.
Okay.
Is yes, number one, you got to win, but it's how you win. You can't win 10-0 because then Dave Roberts is going to let guys go out there to drown and not use any of his top relievers because it's a bullpen day for the Dodgers. So with that in mind, the best case scenario is this thing to go like 11 innings and it's a close game the entire way. So Dave has to use his top guys and stress the hell out of the bullpen tonight. The Yankees win like 3-2 and 11.
Yeah, that's the best case scenario. Or you could just win the game in any way possible.
I just said that, John.
Well,
I know.
that's like any sporting event.
But I'm just saying, in the Mets series, when Flaherty gave up those 8 runs, he let him go out there and just die. Like,
Right.
he didn't use any top guys, and it helped him out later in that series for another bullpen day. If you have any hope, and the Dodgers don't have any bullpen days scheduled the rest of the series, if this thing goes back to LA, like it's Yamamoto, Flaherty, and Buehler for games 5, 6, 7. But what you need to do tonight, obviously, is win. If you're talking about best case scenarios, strategy, like I know you don't really, there's not much strategy in baseball. You just go out there and try to score more runs than their team. I get it. But if you're a Yankees fan, you want this game to be a high-stress game for the Dodgers relievers, and you come out away with the win, so you feel like there's some shot because Garrett Cole's going in Game 5. And then Game 6, okay, back at Dodger Stadium, it's going to be tough, but if you can possibly get there with a little momentum, who knows?
All right, keep coping. Next question.
Oh, my gosh. I'm just giving you the strategy.
Just win the game, Yankees.
Okay, fine. Win 12-0
yes.
and have no relievers be used for the Dodgers.
I have a better idea. Yeah, be in a 2-2 game in the 8th inning and trust you're going to win the game.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, you are. You're saying it could be in a close game. The Dodgers can win that close game. They'd rather win 12-0 tonight than 3-2.
Oh, my God. I'm not
Next
saying
question.
that. Okay,
Yes,
fine. Whatever. Yes, you are, idiot. No, I'm
Next
not.
question.
Will tonight be Juan Soto's last game in the pinstripe uniform?
How do you sign with a team that wears pinstripes?
Well, the Mets wear pinstripes too sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but they're not playing tonight, so.
No, I know that, Brent. But you have to think that if the Yankees get swept here, there's no shot that they're allowing Juan Soto to walk, right? That'd be like a double kick in the balls.
I don't think he walks. I think they'll put a lot of pressure.
Oh, come on, he always walks.
Yeah, that's true. I think the best offer he gets is from the New York Yankees. Now, will he take it? I think yes.
It better
but
be.
But the best
Yankees.
offer he gets is from the New York Yankees, and I think he'll take it.
Because not only will the Yankees offseason already be awful because of how they just didn't show up in the World Series and got their ass kicked, but then to lose Juan Soto on top of that would be just the double whammy. So if the Yankees won the World Series, they could maybe like play a little hardball.
Right,
here.
we won the World Series. Yeah, right.
Well, also too, it's
better?
like, hey, Juan, we'll give you your money, but look, we
want to keep winning World Series.
You got to keep winning World Series here, and if you lose here, Yankees can't afford to lose Juan Soto this offseason because you'll have to be talking about how Aaron Judge is awful in the postseason, and you lost Juan Soto, and you lost the World Series in a sweep to the Dodgers. Like, ugh. Brutal.
All right, we'll get you ready for tonight. It's 30 minutes away. Plus, Trainwreck Radio this hour, a chance to win a pair of tickets to San Diego State San Marcos tomorrow at Viejas Arena. Exhibition game, men's basketball. San Diego State and San Marcos will give away 2 free tickets coming up later this hour on Jon and Jim.
This update is brought to you by the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar. Game 4 of the World Series tonight at Yankee Stadium. Dodgers are looking for the sweep to win their first legit World Series since 1988. Moving over to NFL news of the day. Stephon Diggs, he's going to miss the rest of the season because he tore his ACL this past weekend. And the Colts have benched Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco. The Breeders' Cup is coming to Del Mar this Friday and Saturday. Be ready to go. Remember, all tickets and parking passes must be bought in advance. And due to heavy traffic, if you're not attending, please avoid the area. Visit breederscup.com/plan your visit to learn more.
All right. We do have tickets to give away for tomorrow night, Viejas Arena, San Diego State, San Marcos. This is an exhibition game. 7 p.m. tomorrow night. We'll give away those tickets coming up later this hour. Speaking of San Diego State, get ready Friday night. Aztecs taking on Boise State up on the blue. Pre-game reflection 3. The Richard Call 5. San Diego State, Boise State, Friday night on your home of the Aztecs. San Diego Sports 760. The way they're talking about it in Boise is like it's a formality that Boise State is running the table. And they're going to go to the college football playoff, and they're going to win the Mountain West. I don't know if that's accurate or not. It'll play out over the next 5 or 6 weeks. But you look at it nationally, nobody's giving San Diego State a shot Friday night. No one. Vegas has them as 24-point underdogs. Boise State's rolling. They've got Ashton Genty. They're supposed to make the college football playoff. San Diego State's improving. I'm not saying that this is the week that they, win on the blue, but a lot of people didn't think San Diego State was going to be in the game with Washington State, and they nearly won the game. They could have won that game. It's just nobody's giving San Diego State a shot on Friday night. I feel like maybe that bodes well for San Diego State, us against the world, so to speak.
Well, I mean, if the main thing to do on Friday night is what, John? Contain Ashton Genty.
I like that. That's a good strategy. Yeah, have you called Sean Lewis?
I have not, actually.
I'm going to see him tomorrow for the coaches show.
Can you let him know
Let
that?
me write it down.
Can you let him know that?
Contain. Who was it?
Ashton Genty.
Contain
Ashton Genty.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I'll tell Sean.
Perfect.
I'll tell Sean.
Good.
It's all figured out. No, obviously it's not easy.
It's a tough task to go to Boise on the road and potentially, pick off a college football playoff team this year.
Yes.
They're going to have to play their best game by far of the season. They can't make mistakes. They have to, once again, I feel like, throw the kitchen sink at Boise State, have the same type of game plan they did against Washington State, which is, hey, when we have an opportunity for fake punts, when we have opportunities for onside kicks, when we have opportunities for trick plays, like, we need to plan this game out in a way that it all has to go our way.
Pull out all the stops.
All the stops.
Everything.
All of it.
Yeah. Well, one thing they will face this weekend, I'm trying to think where we've played so far this year, where I've called games. And it's Cal Berkeley. That's not a crazy environment. Wyoming was a very good environment for a team that wasn't very good. I'm just trying to think of a crowd noise perspective.
Central Michigan, was that?
That was a good crowd, but I mean, it wasn't like crazy crowd noise. I think Friday night will be legitimate crowd noise. This team that's maybe destined to make a college football playoff, that's only losses to the number 1 team in the country by a field goal at Oregon on the last second. And it's going to be loud.
And when's the last time they went to the Blue Turf?
They went there a couple of years ago when Brady returned and lost. The game before that, they beat a ranked Boise State team there. San Diego State all-time against Boise State is 4-5,
also,
which is really good.
Also, isn't it supposed to rain?
Nah, I don't think so.
Like, the weather's not supposed to be great?
Cold. Boise weather. Yeah, maybe a little rain. A little rain.
Which I don't think
40% chance of precipitation on Friday, but at night it doesn't look like it.
Okay. Which I don't think would have been a bad thing, honestly. Put some weather conditions in there.
Right. Like, never know. Come up with a turnover. Yeah, Genty puts the ball in the turf.
Here. Yeah.
We got it all figured out.
Do
you have any other keys for Sean Lewis?
Yeah.
Get the turnovers? Get the ball?
No. I have one.
Mm-hmm.
Score more points.
Okay, so score.
Than Boise State.
You say points?
Yeah, points.
Not runs.
No, points.
Yeah, that was how he's going to save the Yankees.
Yes.
Okay.
Score more points.
I put contain Ashton Genties in bold. Then underneath it, score more points than Boise State.
I like that.
You do those two things, you win the game. I feel like if you score more points and contain Genty,
I dare you.
You win the game.
I dare you to tell him that tomorrow.
I'm gonna be like Jim, who you don't even know. I mean, he does know Jim.
He does know
'Cause
me.
We went to Mount West Media Day.
Unless
Right?
he completely forgot who I was or am, maybe.
That's
but
not possible. That's hard to imagine.
Tell him that tomorrow.
All right. I don't think you're going to hear the show until Thursday, would be my guess.
Yeah, Thursday.
Thursday night.
Well, anyway.
What do you got?
I want to
Brian?
hear that.
No, I was gonna say maybe you can work it into your pregame interview.
Yeah.
Because don't you do like keys to the game
Yeah,
every week on like social media and stuff?
I do. One of the keys is to outscore. Actually, imagine if I did 3 keys to an Aztecs victory with Sean Lewis and we didn't mention Ashton Genty. I'd be on like, right? Can you
What?
imagine it?
Like, oh, we got to pretend they're wide receivers.
Right. I mean, no, you have to mention it.
Quarterback can run a little bit.
All right. So are you feeling, though, seriously, about game 4? Did I hear you say off air, or maybe it was on air, that you think the Yankees win tonight and force a 5th game or no?
I think it's over tonight.
You think it's over?
I think the Yankees look, and it feels like they're defeated.
They look.
Their lineup, they made a lineup change today. They moved Stanton down to the 5 hole. They moved Jazz Chisholm behind Aaron Judge and kind of put them up there to maybe lengthen the lineup a little bit.
Mhm.
But there is no world they even sniff winning the game in this series if Aaron Judge is going to continue to look this bad.
Right. Like, he's got to be the reason why they win a game.
Like I thought the Yankees had a pretty good lineup, and then watching them,
No, they're
I'm just like,
awful.
oh, this is I mean,
it's 3 great hitters at the top of their lineup. The problem is the Dodgers have a legitimately good lineup.
I
like
think
all of
Gleyber
it.
Torres is a nice player. I think yesterday he got screwed on a horrible strike 3 call in a very
like
crucial point of the
7th or 8th
game.
inning, yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah.
Up by his chin, and they called a strike
Right.
3. But if Aaron Judge is just going to swing and miss it, all of these, it's just it feels like when he strikes out or he doesn't get on base or gets a hit, especially yesterday, like it's just a deflating feeling because everyone's waiting for him to do something. Like he hit a lazy fly ball to the left. Off the bat, looked like it was 30 rows deep, but it was a lazy can of corn. And you heard the Sterling call, and he immediately thought it was a home run. All Yankees fans thought it was immediately a home run. I thought it was a home
Sterling
run.
call was great.
He's
Yeah.
like, there it goes.
It is high. It is deep. It is caught.
It's caught. He even like stumbled a little bit
Yeah.
because he's like, oh my God, he
It is
finally hit a home
gone.
run.
Caught.
Yeah. And so tonight I think it's over. I think the Yankees, Dodgers smell it. They just I don't think they're going to lose this game.
You don't think they want to win in LA, lose the next 2?
Just get it over with. They're like a get over mindset. And honestly, it would be from a Dodger standpoint kind of poetic if they won on a bullpen day because their season depended on a bullpen day.
And they won.
And they won that, and they won the World Series on a bullpen day. Like,
I honestly hope, for my sanity, I want the Yankees to win tonight. And then if the Dodgers win in 5 games, I'm not here Thursday, and you could just talk about it for 3 hours. Then come next week, I'll just talk about like college basketball or like Monday Night Football, something like that. That's my dream scenario. Or my dream scenario is the Yankees actually win the next 4 games.
that's like one of the
Mean.
meanest things you could imagine.
I want to see you on Halloween dressed up like Pikachu, talking about the Dodgers having won the World Series.
I'm going to dress up.
Like Pikachu?
Not like Pikachu.
You're going to dress up here in studio.
Well, there's like
Alone.
a Halloween contest going on at the station.
Can I
And-
win as the Invisible Man? Because I'm not going to be here.
Winner gets like $300.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Brent, what are you going to be?
John, maybe we should just go off of yesterday's text. We'll be journalists.
We could be journalists. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Fake journalist.
Yeah, I love that.
No, I'm not dressing up.
Are you going to come in, Jim, wearing all Dodger gear?
No.
Okay.
You'll never see me in a Dodgers gear in my
For $300
life.
You're not going to be Freddie Freeman.
Is Freeman going to homer tonight?
If he does, there'll be 6 straight.
Here's the question: if they win, but he doesn't homer, he's still MVP, right?
Oh, easy.
Has
Yeah,
to
he can
be.
go over
Okay,
4
yeah.
tonight. He's
Has
MVP.
to be. They just got to do it.
Over
Yeah.
4 strikeouts.
Because
he's
of the
MVP.
moment. The game 1 moment changed everything.
That was the series.
That was the series.
like
If he strikes out there, Yankees are up 3-0.
Do you still get like a Chevy or something if you win MVP?
It's got like bells and whistles and stuff.
Well, remember it used to be like they either got like a truck or they got a Corvette or something for
probably.
MVP.
They give you like an Apple 3D, like what's it called? The VR.
He's gonna get your laptop.
Virtual reality.
Yeah. Here's a laptop you need to return within the next 2 weeks, or you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Don't
All
get too
right.
attached.
Call right now if you want 2 free tickets to see San Diego State tomorrow night at Viejas Arena, men's basketball. The exhibition game against San Marcos before the regular season starts next week. If you want to go to Viejas Arena, first look at San Diego State's men's basketball team for this season, call right now. We have 2 free tickets for tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at Viejas Arena. The number to call is 877-767-4760. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia, and somebody's going to walk away with 2 free tickets for tomorrow at Viejas Arena, San Diego State against San Marcos. And again, the number to call, 877-767-4760. Call right now. Great prize for San Diego State men's basketball fans. We have free tickets for tomorrow night, Viejas Arena on campus at San Diego State. 877-767-4760. That's next. You hit us up in the talkback, Mike. We had a winner earlier. Cindy, what's her name?
Lauper.
Cindy Lauper. Cindy Lauper, we gave away tickets because we had a winner on our talkback mic. Just open the free iHeart Radio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 760. Tap that little microphone icon next to the play button. 30 seconds. Talkback. World Series Game 4 will start in about 20 minutes from Yankee Stadium. We do have Aztecs basketball tomorrow, the return of San Diego State, an exhibition game. It gets underway for real a week from tomorrow. We're going to play for some tickets right now on Trainwreck Radio, so let's do it.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Joe and Rick. Joe, you called in first, so you have your choice of Jon or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
John.
All right. John, Joe and John. That means Rick, you get Jim, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, perfect. Brent, what is the question of the day?
All right, guys, Freddie Freeman is on his way to being named World Series MVP. Today's question, can you name any of the last 10 World Series MVP winners? So we're looking for anyone that's won the World Series MVP in the last 10 seasons.
All right. Rick, you're up first. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Let's go Jose Altuve.
Jose Altuve.
Altuve on the list?
I don't know about that one. No, he's not on the list. Not on the list. Joe, first guess. What do you got? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter.
10 years.
No. Rick, back to you. What is your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Let's go lifeline.
All right. Let's go with Corey Seager. Do you take that? Take it. Say yes.
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 Okay,
On the
good.
list.
There we go. Joe, back to you. What's your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Lifeline.
I have a number I could go with. I'm thinking about an Aztec for life and Steven Strasburg.
Do you take that, Joe?
Yes.
Boom. There we go. All right. Rick, what is your final guess? You don't have a lifeline, so this is all up to you. What do you got?
Let's go Juan Soto.
Juan Soto.
No, but Strasburg.
No. And back to Joe. You could win it with a walk-off here, but you don't have a lifeline. What is your final guess?
Pujols.
Albert Pujols.
With the age that he didn't win.
Nope, did not win.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to overtime because both of them got one right off of our lifeline. And Brent, what is the rules of overtime in the question?
All right, how overtime works is I'm going to ask another question. When I'm done asking the question, whoever yells out the name of their partner first, we don't want the answer. Yell out whoever you played with, either Jon or Jim. Whoever yells out the name of their partner first, you are either going to win the game by getting the question right, or you're going to lose the game by getting the question wrong. Do you guys understand?
Yes. Who's my partner again?
Who's speaking?
Rick is Jim and Joe is Jon.
All right, Jim's my partner, and then sorry, I missed the. Give me
So
that
you
again.
buzz in by saying Jim, and then Brent will
Yes.
say, "What is your answer?"
Yes.
And you will say the answer, and you'll either win
Yes.
or lose.
Don't yell out the answer if you know it. Yell out the name of
You
your
said
partner.
Jim.
So you'll yell Jim, and then we'll go to you
And
for
Joe,
the
you would
answer.
say Jon.
Okay, are you guys ready?
Okay, got it.
All right, today's overtime question. Where is tonight's World Series game?
John.
I heard
All right,
Jon.
what do you got, Joe?
Jim.
Where's tonight's
In
game?
New York.
That is correct. In New York, game 4. That very challenging sports question goes to Joe at Team Jon. By the way, you know I used to work in minor league baseball, right?
What?
Yeah.
You never mentioned that.
But my first stop was Lynchburg, Virginia, and somebody that was on the Lynchburg Hillcats is one of these World Series MVPs. There was actually a really good guy that I spent a lot of time with. His number's probably on my phone. Stephen Pierce with the Red Sox won World Series MVP.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is unbelievable.
2018, right?
I think it was 2018.
against the Dodgers.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable and a really good professional hitter.
Let me see if I can name a couple here. So
You
10
named
years
one. Corey Seager won
Verlander?
twice.
Yeah, Verlander. So back
No,
to
no Verlander.
10 years ago. Okay, I'm gonna go Bumgarner one.
Right.
Yep, he did.
Bumgarner,
Yep.
yes.
I'm gonna go Salvador Perez.
Yep.
Salvi, yes.
I'm gonna go with 2017 was the Astros.
Trash can.
The trash can one. Is it Verlander?
No
Yeah, that's what I
Verlander.
thought too.
Is it- Charlie
you know what it
Morton?
is? No,
No.
it's
Springer.
Yep.
Boom.
George Springer. And then 2018 was your guy,
Stephen Pierce.
Stephen Pierce, rando.
Yeah, so random.
2019 was the who was 2019? Strasburg. 2020 was Seager.
Mickey Mouse.
Right. 2021 was Eddie
Ooh.
Rosario.
Is that
No.
who it was?
Oh, that's the
No.
NLCS MVP. He won. What 2021 was the Braves. Who won it for them? I don't know.
one of their starting pitchers.
Jorge Soler.
Jorge
Yeah,
Soler. That's
we knew that.
right. 2022 was
There's only two left.
2022, who won the World Series?
That-
Astros.
that-
Over the
for
Phillies.
the Phillies. Oh, that was
Not a Verlander?
No,
Yordan Alvarez.
no,
Bregman.
no. It's not a big name guy.
Oh,
Trash can.
Jeremy Pena.
Oh,
Oh,
of course.
Jeremy Pena.
And
Jeremy
then he,
Pena.
of course, forgot 2016 Ben Zobrist of the Cubs.
Dude, there's some randos on there. Oh, the
randos.
Zobrist's a good player.
yeah.
And who won last year?
Corey Seager.
That's right.
Yeah.
But he won twice.
This year you'll get Freddie Freeman that will win it. So
No, not if the Yankees win the next four. Then it's Arson Judge. He's gonna get hot starting tonight.
Could you
Aaron Judge.
imagine?
He's gonna get hot.
could you
man.
imagine?
He's gonna get hot.
Could you
Joe,
imagine?
you've won a pair of tickets to see San Diego State tomorrow night at Viejas Arena against San Marcos. Exhibition game. Season gets underway a week from today. I want to say limited tickets available for the season right now for San Diego State men's basketball at goaztecs.com. We'll get you ready for game 4 of the World Series on the other side to kick off hour 3 of Jon and Jim. Plus, we have Snow Jam tickets to give away in the 5 o'clock hour. Stay with us on Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar. Game 4 of the World Series is tonight. It's actually moments away from first pitch at Yankee Stadium. Dodgers are looking for the sweep over the Yankees. Yankees are trying to do something that not many teams have done, which is come back from 3-0 and win the series. NFL news of the day. Colts, they have benched quarterback Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco, and Stephon Diggs towards ACL this past weekend. He's going to miss the rest of the season for the Texans. The Breeders' Cup is coming to Del Mar this Friday and Saturday. Be ready to go. Remember, all tickets and parking passes must be bought in advance. And due to heavy traffic, if you're not attending, please avoid the area. Visit breederscup.com/plan your visit to learn more.
All right, San Diego and Southern California. What's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim. This hour, we will give away more tickets for tomorrow night at Viejas Arena. We have a pair of tickets to see San Diego State men's basketball against San Marcos in an exhibition game. We also have a 4-pack of tickets to Snow Jam at the Del Mar Fairgrounds coming up November 8th through the 10th to give away this hour. We have Jim's back page as well. We are mere moments away from Game 4 of the World Series in the Bronx, New York. How do I know this? Because we're watching, and Ken Rosenthal is on the field. This game will get underway in about 5 minutes. Now, is it the same level of buzz in New York? No, it's not. I mean, even Game 3 down 2 games to none, you're playing for an inside straight, and now down 3 games to none, you're playing for a miracle.
What were the ratings last night?
I haven't seen them as of yet.
Because you had the Giants on at the same time
What
as
do
the
you think
Yankees.
did a better rating in the city of New York? New York Giants or New York Yankees?
Giants.
Yeah, I think it'd be close.
Close.
Maybe the Yankees.
Close.
I don't know. Giants suck.
Do you think that this World Series has been the big hit that Major League Baseball wanted it to be?
Of course not. Who would ever say yes?
I even think
Dodger fans.
I think just the first 2 games, I was a little disappointed by the ratings. I thought they're going to be closer to 20 million, and they weren't.
No, they were. The
No,
first game was close to 20 million, wasn't it?
It was 15.
Is that right?
Game 2 was 13.
Okay.
I'm guessing game 3 will be around 13. Can't be higher than that. Maybe, but I doubt
13.64. This is from the AP. Game 3 beat Monday Night Football.
Wow.
So 13.64 million. That was 240,000 more than Monday Night Football.
In New York?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
13.64 to 13.4.
Interesting.
Fox's most viewed primetime Monday since Game 5, 2013.
Okay.
Red Sox Cardinals.
But I was expecting, this was hyped up as like the dream matchup that baseball wanted. Yankees, Dodgers,
It
East
is.
Coast, West Coast.
It is.
2 powerhouses.
It is.
Now, how it's played out has hurt.
That's the thing.
But even games 1 and 2, I thought it was going to be closer to 20. That's
Okay.
just me.
No, you're right. Okay, so let's just do the math on it. So you're right. 15 million for game 1, roughly.
Mhm.
The last time that number was hit was 2017.
Yes.
Dodgers, Astros.
Dodgers, Astros, and they're bigger. Dodgers, Astros was bigger in 2017.
Correct. Almost 19 million.
You know what the theory, I think, is what we talked about before the series started? 2017, you had an underdog. Now, everything in hindsight, we know
Right.
what happened with the Astros, right? With the trash cans and everything. But you had a team in the Astros going up against the evil Dodgers. So you had an underdog to root for. Now, being in LA, it helped ratings. But the Astros, I think having that underdog, it helps. And you look at this series. Now, it would have been nice to see what the ratings would be if the series was better. Like if it was a 2-1 series right now, it'd be obviously a much more entertaining, better series.
Yeah, exactly. That we'll never know. Like that's the thing. Like a 7-game series, would it have approached Cubs, Guardians? We'll never know.
40 million? No.
Probably not. It's a big number.
Like when would have a game 7 been? Was that, I know it was on a weekday, right?
No,
It would have been on a Saturday, huh?
correct.
Or Sunday.
Saturday.
going up against whatever college football game there is.
Yeah, they're going to move college football from FS1 to Fox, assuming there's no 7th game, which there won't be. Spoiler alert.
No.
Now, I don't know. By the way, under that theory, I don't think they'll do it. Boise State's playing San Diego State FS1 Friday night. Would they move because Boise State's a college football playoff, contender? Would that get moved to Fox Friday night? Probably not. But it's a possibility. But they will move college football. They've already announced that. They'll move college football Saturday night because this one. Now, if you get a Saturday night game 7, you're not getting it. But it would be a massive number because you're not going up against the NFL.
No, you would get a massive number.
Yeah. Now, 40 million is a big number. But if you come back from 3-0 down,
that's how you
get
the
because
big,
you're building it up. Like, could this really happen?
Yep. And
could this really happen?
And then the one thing that I never thought I would see in my life is that the Yankees would be like
compelling
the underdog story that they never are.
And trying to pay off, reverse the 2004 up 3-0. 20 years later, down 3-0.
And that Netflix documentary just came out.
They can have another one.
Netflix actually put out a funny tweet. Did you see what they put out?
I don't think I did.
They put out a
If
picture.
only there was a team that's ever come back from 3-0 down.
Close. Let me just pull it up here. Netflix. They said, "Don't worry, Yankees. It is possible."
Right.
And they put a picture of the
Red
Sox. The comeback.
Exactly what the Yankees want to see down 3-0. Their arch rival who did it against them 20 years
Big
ago.
Poppy last night on the post game
Oh
show.
my gosh.
He's singing They Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar and looking at Derek Jeter, being like, "You guys aren't, you aren't like us."
Of course, that all started with Dave Roberts.
I know it did. It started with Dave Roberts in game 4.
Really be
stolen base.
Now again, I think that's probably not happening.
Was it JD Drew that hit the RBI single off Mariano Rivera? I think it was.
Maybe. It's been a while.
Because Dave Roberts, the steal was important, but the hit was more important. I think people forget about that.
Yeah, true.
Dave Roberts steal means absolutely nothing if JD Drew or whoever was at the plate doesn't come through.
Sure, but it means a lot if he's like thrown out.
I know that, John.
But now again, that's not going to happen.
It won't happen.
Now I hope it does. But by saying it's not going to happen, I hope it does.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at, do you believe in curses?
Yeah, no, I believe in karma.
Or not curses. Do you believe in
jinxes?
Jinxes. That's
of course.
Jinxes. There have been so many opportunities. Like we played that ridiculous Dodger song the other day, right?
Yeah.
And then the other night, Bob Nightingale, the guy that
he said it's over.
Just always saying things that end up being wrong, like all the time. He puts out there this tweet. It's hilarious. Where is it?
That they should schedule the parade.
He goes, "This World Series is over. Dodgers win again. Put champagne on ice."
I mean, it's hard to really doubt that.
I know, but if there was any time,
it would be Nightingale.
It would be freaking Nightingale, dude.
Yeah,
which would be hilarious.
It would. No, I believe in. I mean, listen, we spent 48 hours on putting Clayton Kershaw meme on the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, I argued that thing vigorously for 3 straight days.
For some reason, this Dodgers team just plows right through all this. They're fine. Nothing phases them. They're not getting phased by all this stuff.
Right.
Like the baseball god said, nope, we don't care that everyone is trying to jinx this team and coming up with stupid songs and having articles written before
Maybe
the
instead of the
series is
baseball
over.
gods, they sold their soul to the baseball devil.
Well, I mean, listen,
right.
You can overcome a lot when you've built a roster like this. I mean, and truth be told, they didn't win to near the level people thought they would win in the regular season. They've had many better regular seasons in the last 10 or 15 years, but they just kind of chugged along. They get in sub 100 wins. And I think there were a lot of people that doubted them heading in. Hey, this isn't their deepest rotation. They've had injuries. This isn't necessarily their year. Next year will be their year, but they've proved people wrong. And honestly, a lot of it is because of starting pitching. A lot of it is Buehler, Yamamoto, and even Flaherty. That's kind of carried the day.
And their bullpen has been fantastic.
Absolutely. So they're pitching in general. Yep.
The one thing that did worry me the most about the Dodgers going into the postseason this year was the fact that they didn't have to their standards, an incredible regular season. And the Padres pushed them at the end there.
For a while, yeah.
Because what's happened the last however many years, they've just coasted into the postseason. Coasted. Their season, They didn't even care about September. Like they just were like, okay, this thing's wrapped up by August 31st. We're just gonna rest people and line things up and get ready to go for our postseason run. And it ended up hurting them because they were just lackadaisical for about a month and a half every single year. This year they couldn't be like that. They only had maybe like 3 days where they could just kind of take a deep breath. They clinched with, I think, 3 games remaining. And like playing, playoff caliber baseball
For the final month of the year.
instead of just taking the month off.
Yeah, that's definitely served them well.
And then it took them a couple games in the DS round to
get going.
get going. And usually they didn't get going in the DS round because they had some off.
They lost in DS 1921.
No, 19 was the end of the loss. Yes.
Gotcha. The thing is, though, but here's what it's proving to me, Jim, that it is a true crapshoot. Yes, good teams can win World Series, great teams can win World Series, and other teams can navigate their way through it and potentially be in the very same spot. I don't think the reason the Dodgers are in the World Series is they were destined for it. That's against the Padres. They outplayed them from that point out. There's another world. It's like simulate. You simulate this thing 100 times. But to their credit, they played their best baseball when they needed to. Game 4 5 of the DS. I mean, I'm with you. I'm not going to disagree with the word choke. I'm not. But it's not like the choke. It's like
not 3-0.
choke. Yeah.
It's not the Yankees 3-0 choke.
Right, exactly. Like,
It's
They-
a choke, but I don't think it's considered like the biggest choke.
it's not even close to the biggest choke all the time. It's not like a top 50. It's the equivalent of having a 24-14 lead in the second half of NFL playoffs. That's what it is. How about that? Second half. And they lost. Which happens. It does happen. That's
still a
to me
choke.
what it is. Right? Yeah, I think so. Probably.
Dodgers were the better team. They outplayed the Padres, but it felt like the way it ended.
It was bad. It was bad. Yeah, I agree. It was bad. This game is underway. We'll keep you updated on the other side. Plus, coming up next, we give away 4-pack of tickets to Snowden 2024 at the Del Mar Fairgrounds, November 8th through 10th. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right. What if you could be debt free by this January? Get rid of all that high interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment. Hey guys, it's Schaefer. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto has rates with APRs in the low fives, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis or their express equity lines of credit. So call now, get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today and you won't make a house payment until 2025. LoanPronto.com or 619-207-4336. LoanPronto.com. Free rate quotes. Right now, it's 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLS, consumeraccess.org. All right, Dodgers have taken a lead. 2-0 in the first. Freddie Freeman. I would like to. I would too. I just put this down in the rundown. We played the Freddie Freeman home run at some point. Freddie Freeman for a fourth consecutive game this year, a sixth consecutive World Series game overall. Has
Yeah, that's not a good sign for the Yankees, John.
no, not to go down again in a fourth consecutive.
No. They are done. The Yankees are done. This is pretty much over. Not over yesterday. But the insurmountable 2-0 lead that the Dodgers have right now.
Right. Well, let's see. Is it definitely going to be Freeman as MVP? Yes. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. That's a 3 for 11 in the series. No, stop. Tommy Edman has 4 hits. Shohei has a hit. Tommy Edman actually looked he's been fantastic. Oh, actually,
He had like 11 or 12 RBIs.
would you give it to Ryan Brazier with the score? Yes.
Already?
No, yes, in the series.
Oh, in the series. He's starting.
Walker Buehler with 5 scoreless. Do you think it goes to Freeman?
The only thing that the Yankees have that they can possibly fall back on is that it's raining in New York.
They said if this game will be canceled,
Can they cancel
just rain for forever.
when we start the game over?
Listen, it's crazy. I think the World Series has been amazing. But if you get swept out of the World Series, that's not fun either.
It's almost like you rather than just.
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say it.
I
I don't
know,
want to say
I
it.
know.
It feels like in the moment that way, though, right? Like in the moment.
Inning. If both Yankees team gets top of the first inning,
Yeah, it's
you're out of it. Multiple run home runs from Freeman. 2 run home runs both days.
happy.
Well, we're watching the Mavs.
Yeah.
2-0.
Still the first. Yes, I know. It didn't skip like the 9th inning.
Well, top of the first, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we have. Do you want to emulate the call, or do you want to hear the call first?
I need to hear the call first.
All right, so this is Joe Davis,
Oh, my goodness.
play-by-play voice
Of the Dodgers.
of the Dodgers, and for Fox Television.
Ugh.
On the call for Freddie Freeman's historic home run tonight.
It's huge. Freeman cracks one deep to right field and gone again. Freddie Freeman floating in the World Series. 4 games, 4 home runs. You gotta be kidding.
Okay.
Freddie Freeman floating.
What are these calls, man?
I don't know.
Gimme! Meet Freddie! Freddie floating! Like, what are these calls, dude? I'm sorry, but like, I know that I'm biased here, but
Oh my gosh.
and my like dislike of Joe Davis as play-by-play man, but Gimme! Meet Freddie!
I just thought the Freddie floating was a little.
floating. What is this like? It's like it?
What? Like it's going up?
No,
It's up.
no, it's not. No, it.
They all float down here.
We want to float.
I don't
We
know.
all float
dude.
down here.
I mean, this series is awful.
Your Pennywise is better than your Joe Davis, by the way.
Oh, hello, Georgie.
Oh my god.
I do.
Maybe you
Like,
should do that on Thursday.
I do like me some Pennywise. Yeah.
I don't know what you're
That'd be
talking
a
Do you like
tough
clowns,
caution.
John?
Do I like clowns?
Yes.
Whoa. Hey, John. Do you?
I can see you being like freaked out by clowns.
I like the WWF guy.
Do you
Oh,
want the
doink.
balloon?
I don't know what's happening. I don't even care what's happening.
Freddie!
Because Freddie's
is
floating. 4
4 home runs in 4 games.
free baseball.
Remarkable. Oh my God! Just glaze harder, Joe Davis. Seriously.
I need like a Yankees response.
I need just a Yankees anything. Like,
Fuck a hit.
can you guys
Base
maybe
runner.
get a runner on third base with less than 2 outs one time?
Do something.
Like the poking meme.
Now,
like,
here's the thing. They only
something.
allow 2 runs.
Ooh, they did the same thing last night, John.
I don't know. I'm trying to sell it.
There was a fan in the stands at Yankee Stadium holding a sign up, said, Freddie, please stop.
Seriously, man.
Maybe don't throw Freddie Freeman like a hanger right over the middle of the plate.
Just stop. They're already dead.
They're already dead.
6 straight World Series games to home run, the first time in baseball history.
That's kind of crazy.
By the way, if this was Ohtani, they would have like stopped the game.
Like, if you were to tell me right now, who is your most, like, who do you hate on the Dodgers the most? It would take me a little while to get to Freddie Freeman.
Oh, come on. If this is Ohtani, they would have stopped the Timberwolves Mavericks
yeah,
game.
they would have.
Ohtani,
It would have been like the COVID moment. They would have raced down, like told the head coach.
Yeah. Ohtani, he just comes off as very fake.
Ohtani?
Yeah. Like, he's almost like, he can almost like do no wrong. And everything about Ohtani is just over exaggerated.
Right.
Like, he's the greatest player ever.
If Ohtani did this, they'd say it's the greatest feat in the history of baseball.
Oh, I know.
But we haven't heard that.
Thank
on
God.
Freeman.
Thank God.
Yeah. Would
But
this be the greatest feat in the history of baseball if Ohtani had homered in 6 consecutive World Series games?
it
Yes,
would be,
it
it would be
would.
talked about that
Yeah,
way. Jeff Passan wrote a 70,000 word, like,
Did he?
I'm just saying he
But-
would. If,
oh my
if
God.
Ohtani did this. It would
What
be
is-
the most Jeff Passan of
Dude,
Jeff
some of the
Passan
Passan
articles
tweets
ever.
last night.
Ever. Oh yeah, it's like they're
Oh my
novels.
gosh.
They're novels. It's
Like,
he
we
is-
get it. You have a check mark, so you can use more characters.
he is
You don't
using
have
up-
to use all characters in the world.
He is using up a lot of. Oh,
What do we have?
Oh, Yankees fan just trying to fight Mookie Betts.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I like it.
Okay.
If we had it on the TV, we would have to be able to see it, but we
All right,
don't.
let's see this. Let's see this.
Mookie Betts went to go catch it
Up against.
up against the wall, and a Yankees fan tried to rip it out of his glove. And his glove was.
So the fans are showing more fight than the team right now.
Yeah. Look at the fan. He's just ripping the trying to rip the ball
Wow.
out.
I like
Trying
it.
to rip the ball out. You see this?
I did. I just saw it.
Oh man. That's kind of cool. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah.
I don't know. Jeff Passan.
If I were to name off my most disliked Dodger players, it would take me a little bit to get to Freddie Freeman.
Well, when you say a little bit, like, would he be outside of your top 4?
Yeah.
So your top 4 would include whom? Ohtani,
Muncy,
Betts.
Ohtani. I actually don't hate and despise Betts like I do
Was
Ohtani.
Kershaw on your list, even though he's
Will
not
Smith.
playing?
Will Smith's
Smith.
up there.
Gratterall.
Gradwell's definitely up there. I don't like Kike Hernandez.
Would you like Vesia?
Vesia's whatever. Blake Trinan definitely is up
Trinan,
there.
yeah.
So what I'm saying is Freddie Freeman will win the World Series MVP tonight.
I don't know.
It's obviously sucks, but I'm looking at Freddie Freeman and I'm like, I can't find, other than you're a Dodger, I can't really find much about you that I like despise and hate.
So
Other than you're just a Dodger, right?
Yeah,
Do you feel
he's
that
just,
way?
He's just really good.
He's really good.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I everything that happened with his kid over
Yes,
the last
no
year.
doubt. No doubt.
has to-
That's
you
gonna
have to
anything off the field.
off the field stuff.
Yeah,
But I'm just
of
saying, like,
course,
as a
of course,
like,
I wasn't even thinking about
the
that.
vibe of Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, I wasn't.
To
thinking about
me, the only reason why I dislike him is he's a Dodger.
that. Did we just issue a ball on a pitch clock violation in the World Series?
Oh, you
Well,
were
Soto has walked.
Remember, I saw that, John.
I said there'd be like
do
a.
play by play. Go do it.
We're like, what's happening?
Oh, is that Doug Eddings?
Oh, he's like, hey, you better acknowledge the batter. Or I'm gonna like
Is that Doug Eddings?
toss you.
Everybody, is that Doug Eddings?
I have no
Please
idea.
tell me that's Doug Eddings. That
I
loof.
don't. Is it? Who knows? All right, call right now if you want a 4-pack of tickets to Snow Jam 2024 at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. First caller, you're going 877-767-4760. It's going on November 8th through the 10th. Unforgettable event. Discover our extensive collection of alpine skis, snowboards, boots, bindings, gloves, goggles, and everything else you need for a fantastic winter season. So call right now, 877-767-4760. Mark your calendars November 8th and get ready for an amazing winter experience at Snow Jam San Diego. We'll keep you updated on Game 4, plus Jim's back page, plus we'll give away San Diego State men's basketball tickets for tomorrow night next on Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar. Yankees Dodgers game 4 in New York. Shocker. Freddie Freeman's homered again. Dodgers lead 2-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Of course, the Dodgers lead the series 3-0. Moving over to NFL, Anthony Richardson. He's been benched by the Colts for Joe Flacco. And Stephon Diggs is out for the rest of the season with a torn ACL. The Breeders' Cup is coming to Del Mar this Friday and Saturday. Be ready to go. All tickets and parking passes must be bought in advance. And due to heavy traffic, if you're not attending, please avoid the area. Visit breederscup.com/plan your visit to learn more.
If you're listening on the radio, maybe you don't know, but we're just referencing it. So Best goes over towards the wall in right. Foul territory, not the outfield wall, but the foul territory short wall. And he leaps up and he makes the catch, and then this one fan literally rips the ball and his mitt off of like his hand.
The highlight of the Yankees World Series.
The other fan that he's with, first of all, is wearing sunglasses at night. Secondly, is like, yo, he crossed this imaginary line, like he came into our area. Like, bro. The player has a right to try to catch the ball.
Right.
Like the player has the ability to catch a ball.
Dude, the fan was so adamant. He's like,
he crossed our area. He's like, in our seating area. Dude, he can try to catch it.
The fan was like laughing, trying to rip off the glove of Mookie Betts.
This is a classic. Like anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
That's hilarious.
Anything that can go wrong
will go wrong for the Yankees.
Now, I will say this. In this 2-0 game, the Yankees are threatening.
It's over, though, right?
Are they going to the bullpen?
Already?
They're going to the bullpen. The Yankees have second and third in the first inning.
That's not the bullpen. That's Mark Pryor, bro.
Oh. Well, he's a pitching coach.
Yeah, true.
But, okay, second and third, 2 outs, bottom 1. This is a must-score inning for the Yankees. Is it not? Down 2-0. They have to score in the inning.
Well, yeah, John.
No, they don't have to. They could score in the game.
This is my theory, though. If you can get to the Dodgers bullpen and make them pitch their A team and then somehow late pull out a win, it feels like more than just.
Oh, so your theory was get the Dodgers the couple early runs.
Yeah, just let Freddie Freeman hit another 2-run homer in the bottom of the top of the first inning.
Right.
Go down, have the entire Yankee Stadium on their hands, and every single pitch are like season's over, season's over, season's over, season's over.
Right. Okay, so
just lull them in a false sense of security.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a big moment.
Why wouldn't you walk Stan here?
Well, they may.
Stan can't do. Stan's the only guy in that lineup, and Soto's the only one that's going to do anything. But anyway,
you should be managing.
I should be Dave.
You
Roberts.
really should be Dave Roberts.
Let me.
You should manage the Dodgers. That's your next job.
I'd be like, I'm so scared of Manny Machado. That's what you do if you're a Dodgers manager, right?
Say you're so scared of Manny Machado, and then you win the World Series.
Right. I'm so scared.
How we went from that 2 weeks ago, like it was such a big story. This team's done. They're done.
Over.
They're done. 2-0 after 1. They're done.
Why is their second baseman right there?
It's cheating. It's completely cheating. But it's right. Like, think about that. After game 2 of the World Series, the whole story.
The DS?
Whatever. Same thing. Right? It's the second.
Same thing. Yeah.
After game 2 of the DS, the whole thing was about did the Padres go too far? Manny Machado threw a ball towards the dugout. Remember, there's like an extra video. There's an unseen video.
Oh my gosh,
of Machado throwing the ball. And I'm with you. It really, everyone's like, oh, that was a big mistake by Machado. No, it wasn't. They won game 3 by like 100 runs.
No, they didn't. They won 6-5.
They had a 6-run inning in the second inning,
and that was the last time they scored all year.
But it wasn't. So do you say that Dave Roberts saying what he said was the reason why the Dodgers won that series when they lost game 3?
No, but I do think that it was part of the plan to use Dave Roberts in his, like, Manny Machado, I feared for my life when he threw that ball over to me.
Yeah, but like
as a shield for what happened in game 2, when they got blown out.
Okay, and then they lost game 3 though.
Yes, they
did. So
in
real time, we're going into game 4. They're down 2 games to 1.
The narrative went from Padres have arrived to they're the villains and Manny Machado, and I can't believe the way they acted in game 2.
The
and
sinister
sling and the dancing peacock and Jerks and Profar is showboating, and all the Padres players are doing is celebrating.
Does it look worse that the Padres outlawed Ken Rosenthal from their dugout?
No,
I
think
it's okay
that's a separate situation there. I think Ken Rosenthal, remains this day. Like, you got egg on your face, bro.
Right.
And good luck ever, getting any access to
The Padres
the
again.
Padres, whatever again.
Well, the amazing part of it is the night before, he's like, Manny Machado's really showing leadership in the club, in the dugout.
No, he had to preface that by saying, Manny Machado was vilified for his slide against Dustin Pedroia.
But Padres fans were fine. If he never wrote the article, there was no Ken Rosenthal story.
No, but
He was praising him.
He was.
Yeah.
But in the moment before he praised him, he had to go back and say all the bad things Machado's done in his career.
Okay. But he was praising him in real time. What I took exception to was like 24 hours later, it's like, I misspoke. How dare I say that? I didn't see the unbelievable throw towards the Dodgers dugout that nearly hurt Dave Roberts.
Ken's a clown. Ken's a clown. All right. Ken's a clown. We all know that. Writing that article, you can write that article, but like you wrote the article when you were literally covering the series.
Yeah,
like it made it even worse. It turned you into a complete biased Dodger homer, and you took the side of Dave Roberts instead of being what you were supposed to be, as a biased reporter.
But the worst part about it is like he gets kind of the last laugh.
Yeah, he get to celebrate the Dodgers.
He's going to be in their clubhouse,
right,
drinking champagne.
Yeah. So did you see, by the way, the video that Rich McGuire put out on social media?
I don't know if I did. What happened?
This was a while ago. This was after game 4.
Okay.
Here at Petco Park. And it kind of went viral. So Rich McGuire, good buddy. Shout out Rich. He has great seats right behind home plate.
Yeah.
We've sat in them before. And the tunnel.
Yeah, when he was yelling, who was he yelling at?
He was yelling at Ken Rosenthal.
I remember that.
And he's like, we don't want you here, Ken.
Ken, you're not welcome
You're not
here.
welcome here
That
in
was
San Diego.
amazing.
You're not welcome in San Diego, Ken.
That was amazing.
And Ken just like put his head down. Just like walked past him. It's pretty funny. Like Rich talks a lot of trash. I've seen it.
Yeah.
But he also like talks trash in a way that doesn't like cross the line.
Right.
Yeah. And to see that video of him just like ripping Ken, like, Ken, bro, you're such an idiot, dude.
By the way, Jason Stark wrote an article today saying that he counted 8 likely Hall of Famers in this World Series. Remember, we started the World Series by saying, hey, who's heading to the Hall of Fame? Jason Stark says there are 8 likely Hall of Famers playing on both sides. I click on the article and I can't read it. But again, Kershaw's out, but there's a Hall of Fame. I mean, we did the math before. We said there were 7 or 8. Like, and that's probably accurate. That's probably accurate. Even with this Yankees,
So what do you got?
You got show. I mean, you're going to give it
Cole, Juan Soto.
On their side, it's Judge, Soto, Cole.
Not Stanton?
Maybe Stanton.
He's got an MVP. Yeah. He's going to hit 500 home runs.
Maybe Stanton. Okay. And then on the other side, it's Ohtani, Freeman, Kershaw, Betts.
It's 8.
That's 8.
Yeah. I can't think of any others.
And we haven't even mentioned
managers. Dave Roberts.
And unfortunately, a lot of that narrative is by going, again, if they lost that DS round, who knows if he keeps his job. Now he's there for life. He's the winningest manager by percentage in baseball history. So
he's gonna have
2 rings.
Quote, 2 rings.
Quote, yeah, exactly. So again, that's not for us to determine, but that's a fair point too.
Yeah.
With Dave Roberts.
Yeah. So you got 8 Hall of Famers and
players,
potentially
Hall of Fame
manager with one of the most iconic moments in baseball history too.
But other than that,
Miss Lincoln.
Right. We'll see. We will see. Okay, we do have, so tomorrow night San Diego State is playing San Marcos. Now this game is not on the radio. Okay?
No, because it's an
exhibition. So this game's not streamed, it's not on the radio, but I will be there. You know who else is gonna be there?
Who? Kawhi?
Ben Fletcher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't think Jim's gonna be there.
I'll not be there, John.
Because he'll be watching game 5 of the World Series.
I'll be watching like a past game 5 in place of what should have been game 5.
Right.
Series.
Exactly. But I will be there tomorrow night. Fletch will be there tomorrow night. And then, of course, you can hear the first game of the season against UCSD next Wednesday night, right here on San Diego Sports 760. And if you want to go tomorrow night, why don't you call right now? We have 2 free tickets for the first caller to call right now. If you want 2 free tickets to an exhibition game between San Diego State men's basketball and San Marcos tomorrow night at Viejas Arena, call right now. The number to call is 877-767-4760. First caller, you're going tomorrow night to Viejas Arena, 877-767-4760. 888-848-4760. Updates from the Bronx where the Dodgers lead 2-0 plus Jim's back page next on Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it is Jon and Jim, and you know about our friends over at Hamul Casino. It's a great time of year to get out there throughout this month of October, heading into November with all the NFL action. They've got great promotions every single Monday night, but it is the place to watch live sports here in San Diego with all the promotions. Get out to Hamul Casino.
Yeah, and every Monday night, they have 10 winners every hour at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m. You can earn entries all month long by playing and getting two-time entries on Tuesdays with at least $500 in cash for all winners and a chance to win $25,000 in cash.
Make sure to get to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub because you're going to love it. If you're going to watch the NFL, if you're watching college football, whatever it is at Hamul, get to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. They've got great food and drinks. They've got a million televisions. They've got the Tony Gwynn memorabilia on site as well. Hamul also has endless dining. They've got great food options, endless dining 5 nights a week. If you're going this Saturday, check out the Surf and Turf Buffet. Perfect combinations of steaks, seafood, and more.
Yeah, Tony Gwynn Sports Pub is a great place to watch a game. It's a great place to have a dinner. Food is amazing there. Get to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub at Hamul Casino. It's fun above all else.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that you're not allowed to rip the glove off a player and rip the ball out. There should be new rules. Like if the player goes into foul territory, no holds barred. Like you do what you want. What do you think? Meanwhile, Jim is just like looking at social media comments. I just like what's the deal with Jim still? It really shouldn't bother me that much because it's my but you know,
I get frustrated and I get disappointed when I see comments like this after what happened this year with the Padres. Great regular season, horrible ending, not a special year. You have to you have to like do something that that quantifies it to be special.
But here's the thing. I agree with you, but that's our opinion.
I know it's our opinion. And when I see things like the Padres had a very special season, enough of the negative comments, give credit where it's due. Dude, okay.
That's going to get like 100 likes.
Probably. And I understand, like, there's a lot of people out there that only want to hear positivity. They only want the pom-poms. They only want positive stuff. That's great. And you know what? We talk about the Padres 24/7.
Yes.
And we break down everything with this franchise. Everything.
Right.
We give credit where it's due. We tell you when things are bad. We tell you what needs to change. And if we're wrong, we tell you we're wrong. If we're right, okay. Yeah. But to sit here and after the Dodgers are about to sweep the Yankees and win the World Series.
Hold on.
Okay, stop.
Right.
You're telling me that you're considering this a special year? Like, I'm sorry, but you have much different sports standards than I do. Because my sports standards, I think, are
high.
They're high, but it's also I'm looking around and I'm like, you think in Philadelphia they're considering this a special season because they won the division?
But here's the thing.
Like, stop it. Give me a break.
Here's the thing,
dude.
though. No, I mean that's our opinion, and I agree with you.
Freaking standard for once.
Relax. I mean, because not everyone has to share in our opinion. I mean, the truth is, 10 years ago the Padres were a complete afterthought here.
Correct.
So from that to now is a 180. But we have said the same thing. I mean, the Padres don't have the reason it's going to be treated differently when the Yankees lose this World Series to the Padres losing the NLDS is the Yankees have a different history than the Padres.
27
World Series different. And truthfully, the Dodgers have a different history than the Padres. So it's not all the same. The point is well taken. That's how I am as a fan. It's kind of all or nothing for me. And that's our opinion. And that's kind of innate. We're kind of born with that. That's how we fan. But not all things are equal for all people. So I kind of understand it. I think the Padres fan base is an incredible fan base. I've said it a lot.
Incredible.
I've said it a lot.
And it's the like, the saying of there's always a couple bad like eggs or whatever. I'm not saying that these Padres fans are bad eggs. I just think that there are some out there that I'm just like,
right.
I don't get it. But you're right. Majority, a lot of Padres fans, they get it and they know that this was like massively disappointing.
People are disappointed.
And it's really hard to quantify this as to be a special year.
People have been checked. I mean, I understand it. Like not checked out, but
I get it. You have to because you're still probably upset
what
about
are you going to do? Yeah, exactly. So you need to. I mean, the fact is, you lose to a rival, and the rival likely wins the World Series that same year.
It's brutal.
That's tough. That's really, really tough.
Sucks.
Yeah, like
it's the worst case scenario if you're a fan. If you're a fan,
right. It's like again, if the Diamondbacks win the World Series, again, not ideal.
Yeah.
If the Brewers win the World Series, whatever.
Yeah,
is what I'd basically be saying.
Right, like we talked about yesterday. If the Packers and Bears play in the postseason,
that's a disaster.
And the Packers beat the Bears and they go on to win the World Series.
If they win the World Series, it'd be an amazing year.
They win the Super Bowl.
Right.
You're not sitting there as a Bears fan if you won 11 games this year. Like, man, what a special year.
Yeah, and I always say that with Michigan, Ohio State. Like, you can't lose to Ohio State.
Yeah.
And then watch Ohio State win a national championship. Like, well, we won 11-1. No, they won the national championship and beat you.
Yeah.
But it's a little different than. Are we doing back? I forgot we have back page.
Yes, we are. Ready.
Do back page.
Yes.
Yard. Get out.
They actually do something?
Get out.
They did something.
Like
they scored a run.
Let's go. No, they didn't yet. No, they didn't.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh, look at this throw. Oh my gosh, they didn't score a run. What are we doing? We being the Yankees. What? Just okay.
Oh my god.
Go back page for a second. So there's a guy on with one out. And we thought it's a 2-run home run from whomever that is. But it's off the top of the wall. And the dude running the bases
You know,
What are you doing?
before the series started, I saw a breakdown.
He was on second.
Yeah, I know.
I thought he was on first.
No, he's on second. What are you doing? Everybody knew that was okay.
Oh my gosh.
So
He didn't touch second.
no, he
didn't have to.
He didn't have
The ball wasn't caught.
didn't have to touch second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I thought he caught it.
Wow.
But here's the thing.
If they don't score this inning, Jim, I'm leaving.
Well, we have 3 minutes left.
I'm leaving anyway.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, before the series, I saw a breakdown of like whatever the series from Jeff Passan, and he said that the one thing that the Yankees have that might hurt them in the series is their base running is horrific.
Dude, how bad was that?
That was awful.
You have a guy in second.
You have to go
a guy
halfway.
hits a double off the center field wall, and you don't score.
You have to go halfway, bro.
He got turned around when the ball had already
That's ridiculous.
bounced off the wall.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on, I need to watch this. Oh, my god. If Verdugo strikes out.
I'm gonna literally
Dude, they're not going to
vomit.
score.
I'm gonna vomit on air if they
score.
don't score here.
People are gonna lose their minds.
I'm gonna literally vomit if they don't score a freaking run. What? I have to watch this. I have to watch this. I have to watch. What's that?
Yeah. No. Oh my god.
Ridiculous. Well, John, you're gonna have to move to France. You know why? Because McDonald's in France is teaming up with Beyond Meat to introduce the Veggie McPlant McNuggets, available at 1,500 locations across the country.
Or I could just cook my own Beyond Meat at home.
True. You wouldn't want a Beyond Meat chicken nugget from.
Oh my god, that scored a run, right? If it was back, you got to go. Thank you.
Oh, okay, but still,
nah, same, kind of. 2-1 Dodgers in the second.
We have a game. Whataburger, John, is offering a buy one get one. I got that right that time. Buy one get one.
Yeah, BOGO. Get it? Buy one get one. Yeah.
Buy one get one. Whata Wings for Halloween for October 31st on Halloween.
Okay.
Double trouble. Satisfy your monster appetite this spooky season with Whataburger's Halloween offer. Buy one order of Whata Wings, get one free on Thursday, October 31st. So there you go. Oh my god.
I can't watch this team. 2-1 after 2.
That was brutal.
It could have been worse if they didn't score.
Yeah. And finally, McDonald's is bringing back their famous spicy McNuggets. Starting on November 4th, these spicy nuggets will be available at participating locations in select markets, including Phoenix, Dallas, Houston, Memphis, New York, and more.
The spicy nuggets, they're becoming their new McRib. It's like,
They
oh,
keep
they're
going back to that
gone.
well.
And then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, they were gone for a month. And like, they're back.
Breaded in a crispy tempura coating and spiced with a bold blend of cayenne and chili pepper. Spicy chicken McNuggets offer a fiery twist on the classic McNuggets flavor.
I like them. I think Wendy's spicy chicken nugs are better, but they're good.
Of all the fast food chains, not counting Chick-fil-A, obviously, just McDonald's has the best McNuggets, right?
I like Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets.
Spicy, yeah. Wendy's is pretty good.
McDonald's is probably
We're talking
second.
nuggets, best nuggets.
Best nugs, John.
The chicken nugs, John.
Chicky nugs.
I don't know.
You wouldn't know.
Subway.
When's the last time you ate at Subway?
It's in like 12 years. Where's Jimmy John's? Your name is Jim.
Bro.
My name is John. Let's work something out.
I'm with Jimmy John's.
Call.
We are faking
Call
you.
someone. All right, we're back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Hopefully talking about a game 5. Brett and Jim, I'm Jack here at San Diego. Okay.